See, now we getting that. Now we getting that.
I finished it for you.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous. Don't be scared. The intro's gonna go off.
I like the intro. I wish I could hear.
There we go.
Hi.
There we go.
Hey, man. Hey.
Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday on the Walk on Walk podcast. I am your girl, the one and the only Miss Born Thick, and I am sitting next to none other than the infamous, and yes, I mean infamous. You want me to do government now?
Well, before we do that, because she's Miss Born Thick, you know you gotta say what I like to hear you say all the time.
Born Thick. Thick stands for thighs, hips, and intoxicating curves. Don't you put a T in my name, please, by all means.
So now I will jump in, man. You're dealing with Mr. AKA, the realest motivator and eternal educator, Mr. Awakening Genius. We are live, man. This is our first show. This is Teen Talk. Parents, if you out there.
Wait, since he cut me off, you got to do the one I like. You know the one you be doing when you talk about the trap?
Oh, y'all, check this out, man.
No.
Hey,
Tyrese know about that.
Tyrese might know. These are more than words. This is more than rap. This is the GOAT, and I am the trap, y'all. And the trap stands for the realest awakening the people, y'all. And what we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna let the realest youth and APS. We're gonna let the realest youth and APS, man, awaken the people. They're gonna actually just have some real talk, man, for parents out there. We've been talking about caring. These Negroes are crazy. I mean, literally crazy. We might need some mental health counselors in here by the time the show is over with. They've been debating, y'all, already. I mean, I just want y'all to have fun, man. If you got your children there, go ahead and call them. Let them know what's getting ready to go down. These students are all representing APS.
Yes.
We are looking for students from surrounding counties to join us, even if we had to pull them in virtually. This is our first show, so right now it's just the family getting the chance to know the family. So by the time we get to show 3, y'all, it's going to be on and popping. Tonight, though, it's just our introduction to the world. So with that being said, momentarily, you're going to see Ms. Born Thick and myself. We're going to exit stage left or stage right if you're sitting, depending on where you're sitting. And then it's going to be all on the youth. So if we can, would you guys, before we get off the stage, can we start with Coco, who just loves to be in the center of the screen?
I really don't. I got to put here.
Hey, y'all.
What's she making it work for?
Yeah, this is what we call a trial by fire right here, y'all. Coco told us that she didn't want to be in the center. So guess what the realest motivator did? Put it in the center. Y'all see the kind of energy we got going on. Yeah. Y'all see what's going on, man. These dudes are Coco, tell our listeners, tell our followers, tell our fans, tell any parent out there who wants to get involved with this process, where you go to school, what your future plans are, and anything else you want to say before we leave the stage.
So we just gonna say I'm a product of APS.
Yeah.
We gonna announce the school. Why we not gonna announce your school?
That's all right, because she's a teenager.
It ain't the old school, it's the new school.
Yeah, but she's a teenager. You know
I'm
what
sure about disclosing the information.
All right, cool.
But I'm a senior. I will be attending Kennesaw State for sports medicine.
Like, come on.
And
She getting out of my house.
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much everything else you gotta figure out on your own.
Now, you know, Coco, once you get out your mama house, you don't get
I'm
that
gone.
home
I'm
cooked
gone.
meal.
She the one that want me back.
I told her to come home once a month. I just want to dinner with her once a month.
Ain't
One
even
Sunday
that
a month, that's
much.
it.
Oh, that's sweet.
But as soon as they come in town, they can like, well, yeah, you're at the house with your mom cook.
Oh, how you know?
Yeah. hey, as a matter of fact, he can be like, check this out. Hey, check this out, y'all. Hey, you know the boys in town, and this your weekend that you go home.
Right. They gonna make their rounds.
I'm different from you, though. I don't even want my children to come home washing clothes or nothing. I mean, once you leave
I
the
mean,
house.
she gotta watch you dry in her apartment.
College is different. Hey, everybody who went to college in the 90s or the early 2000s, y'all know that's totally different than what college is.
They got
We had dorms where you put the quarters in there.
It's for
Do y'all have the same thing? Well, hold on. Let's get back to these introductions. Hey, we already out there talking about college, y'all. So we need you guys to make sure. We might even have the second show, y'all. We might actually want to talk to parents about filling out the FAFSA and whatnot, because that's a whole nother animal that if you haven't filled it out by now, your child not gonna get a whole lot of money going to school. You You know what I'm saying? So a lot of folks, though, they waiting because their parents don't know any more than my mom knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your mom didn't graduate high school, even though, she went back and got her, paperwork and became a nurse like my mom, that process right there was not something that she could help navigate you through. So with that being said, if we can just go in this order right here. So next guest right here, y'all, we have my student at South Atlanta, y'all.
You've seen him before.
You seen him before on, was he on our introduction?
He was on our very first podcast. We did a intro before the first episode, remember?
See, y'all, this is what I don't like, but see, I said the intro show and she just That's why if y'all notice, we got more men on this show because one woman can beat up on 3 men. See?
I got my girl with me today, so y'all can try, but you ain't going.
Hey y'all, and we will say this right here. Everybody's cool. We will distance ourselves in a second. We get ready to move. We got all masks and all that good stuff right there. Temperatures have been checked. We are all good in the hood over here. We're rocking live from the G spot right off the bat. So we're gonna turn this thing back over to Tyrese.
Yeah, I'm Tyrese. I attend South Atlanta High School. I will be attending HBCU. I'm announcing which HBCU on the 14th.
Okay. I'm announcing on the 14th.
Okay.
What's your major?
Major political science.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Dr. Martin Miller.
All right, Dr. Eli.
Okay, so my name is Elijah. I'm another product of APS. Future plans. I plan on attending Tuskegee University to major in mechanical engineering with a minor in mathematics. And yeah, that's pretty much
Proud of
it.
your high school?
Right, future, man.
Hey, don't do them like that on camera. Don't do them like that. Hey, remember that last semester? Yeah. No. I know, but we'll talk on camera about whether or not you're proud of it. We got a few more weeks, but teachers might be watching this thing right now. I know some of my colleagues can be very vindictive or whatnot. You're like, oh, okay, so you're proud of it. Okay. So now I know what you need to get into Tuskegee or whatnot. So let me go ahead. I know this Negro should have had a 90 right here.
So we
That
got
89, yeah. So y'all, we got one last, and y'all notice, man, we have a powerhouse of knowledge and genius on stage right now. We didn't just go pick just anybody who attended a school in APS. We got people who got character, they got humor, and they got more so than anything else. Man, you talk about engineers in the room. You talk about political science majors in the room, sports medicine majors. And let's see what this last gentleman is doing. I got to introduce this brother there because I talked about him straight off the cuff because he's straight out the bluff. You know what I'm saying? You don't think about an engineer coming out the bluff. If any of you guys are unfamiliar with the bluff, go and watch Snow in the Bluff, man. Just check that thing out right there. And it will give you a little insight into where Robbie's from, but this brother is going to make it in spite of where he's coming from, and he's going to go back and save other people, just like Eli's going to do in this hood, Tyrese is going to do in this hood, and Coco's going to do in the hood. So, last one, introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, they say the best for last, like they said. My name is,
There you go.
like they said, my name is Robbie Colbert. I am a product of APS as well, but I attend the Best Academy. I'm a senior. For college, I plan on attending Howard or Tuskegee, major in mechanical engineering or biomedical engineering.
Lord help me.
They weren't ready.
They weren't
That's a
ready.
big word.
Could you say that one more
Slow
time?
down.
Robert, for the folks in the back of the room. Yeah, the cheap seats.
For the folks in the nosebleed, I plan on attending Howard or Tuskegee, majoring in mechanical engineering, but like they said, biomedical engicheck
That's dope.
So I know a couple weeks ago, I didn't know what that was.
Biomedical engineering?
Yeah, so can you explain to those people?
Hey, check this out. Before you explain, Robert, let me do this right quick. We're getting ready to leave, man. This is not what you came to see. That is not what you came to see. You came for team talk. So we're getting ready to turn this thing over to the team, man. Thank you guys for joining us on our live tonight. We will come back in probably towards the end of the show. Make sure that we drop all of their contacts and whatnot. We need you to follow them at their individual contacts for all the teams who'll be watching or watching the replay. Also, make sure you go ahead, DJ271, get ready to put up the at Walking with Walt podcast. And with no further ado, what we're getting ready to do, Ms. Boyd, do you have anything else?
You might hear my mouth in the midst of this conversation.
And we might jump back in
Just
because
in case we got some questions. You might not see our faces.
oh hell no, you gonna see my face later.
But look,
Boy,
you
look
was
good
saying
on
that
this
the
thing.
kids have the show. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to follow protocol. But since we here and I got my Awaken the Genius shirt on.
Yeah, and
we
I
gonna
got my
awaken some
Walking with
geniuses
Walt
tonight.
shirt on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What we getting some shirts?
We need a nerd. We need
I wanna
a
see-
Negro, hey, Minnesota, y'all. Hey, but I love the way Eli talk because they said I'm gonna get fed. But damn it, he don't remind me of the new Blake Tony. The brother first day at work, we had to turn the show over to him. Negro Jack got to work, y'all. He already asked about the paycheck. Hey, y'all, we turning it over to the teams right now. Once again, man, you got brother Robbie, man. This young man is straight out the bluff. Eli, where are you on? What neighborhood?
On Collier Heights.
Collier Heights, man. Right over down the west side, man. Coco, you Collier Heights?
Coco College Park.
Oh, straight on that south side. College Park and Tyree. Get that Negro in the classroom right here, y'all. When you think he get ready to drop some knowledge on somebody like, oh, let's walk around, use the restroom. Where you from?
Oh, Cleveland.
Hey, y'all, not Cleveland. We talking about Cleveland Avenue, y'all. For the ones out there who are watching us nationwide, man, we always say that thing right there, man. That Cleveland Avenue corridor, straight off of interstate, man. If y'all want to get a little crystals or whatnot, grab your crystal, man, and then join us on the Walk the Wall podcast. We'll see you guys towards the end of the show.
Nah, I like the crystal.
I got coffee.
Right, she sure did. Because somebody didn't want to be on this camera.
I did,
talking about
but
that,
I
y'all?
got put in here.
He was telling us about
biomedical
Yeah.
Like one of my brothers said, they said, what is biomedical engineering? So biomedical engineering is the process of using engineering to make biomedical, biomedical scaffolds for applications such as like regenerating tissue, muscles, even your bones. So right now I'm in internship. I'm in an internship with Georgia Tech, and right now we're focusing on creating an application to treat glaucoma. Since there's no cure for glaucoma, we're only making treatments for it. So yeah.
I got you.
this one crazy, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good project,
Can you project your voice?
All right.
It's going.
Oh, we're gonna talk about our majors.
No, we ain't have to.
Oh man, I guess I will. So yeah, I plan on majoring in mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering, you combine mathematics with science and a whole bunch of formulas and stuff, whole lot of math, like a whole bunch. And you just basically want to solve problems that civilians, businesses, or whoever wants you to solve. It's pretty. I think I'm in high school. I think it's gonna be a pretty good major. Have its ups and downs. Sorry.
For sure. I'm majoring in political science because I want to dedicate my life to community service. So that looks like a lot of things. I want to go into law school and get a law degree to assist African Americans who can't afford lawyers. I also would like to get into the political world, whether that looks like city council or mayor of Atlanta.
Come on, man.
I guess I do. I want to do sports medicine, and it came because I thought I wanted to be a nurse, but I'm taking like nursing classes now, and yeah, that's not for me. I don't want to do that. Can't do the hospital, can't do none of that. So sports medicine is the next route, and I like sports. Gamble with the football, talk a little football, basketball, do what it do.
Coco, can I jump in 1 second?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to go ahead, just so we can go ahead and get this thing kicked off. I was watching, I was reading on my social media today, and they were talking about, I heard you say politics. They were talking about the president of Atlanta City Council, right? Because what y'all talking about is being changed, and that's what our theme is tonight, you guys, right, Coco? How we say it? Generational change.
Generational change.
Yeah. So if we're talking about generational change, I was reading something that kind of disturbed me, but I don't know enough about it. Y'all know what I mean? They were saying that the president of Atlanta City Council was saying that she felt the mayor, because I heard Tyree saying in his speech just then he considering being a mayor of city council, which we're talking about both of these people now, and that president of the city council is potentially going to run for the mayor of Atlanta.
She's running.
She's running.
She's running.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, though, here's the thing, y'all. This is when I got confused because I don't know enough about it yet. And we know as political scientists, we got to do our due diligence and do our research before we just start making comments on the screen. But I want you guys, as like the future mayors and city councilmen and whatnot, the generational change agents, I want y'all to kind of just get started by talking about this. We all live close enough, or we're all in the general vicinity of where Rayshard Brooks was murdered.
Yeah.
Let me say that he was murdered.
Assassin.
Yeah, he was assassinated. I mean, he was running away from the cops. But that's the language that Felicia Moore is using to kind of say the mayor of our great city kind of hijacked the process with the police. She's saying that she moved too swiftly and that, you know, if those police happen to come back to the force or whatnot, hold up. Come back. She said she shouldn't have used the word murder before they had been, you know, like, yeah, or whatever the due process is, you know. So I don't think it needs to be an indictment, but hell, it was very clear it was a murder.
He was going the opposite way.
Yeah, so now I just want to kind of get this started. Like, if we can just take a couple of minutes, everybody maybe say something about this. So now you got the president, the sitting president of Atlanta City Council. That's your city, right? The mayor. Here is a big election coming up. You guys are now, I think, old enough now to vote, right? And this, so everybody, yeah. So here's the thing, y'all. Now this is when we find out if your American government class taught you anything. See, that's why I oftentimes say to my students, you guys, there's a difference in schooling and education.
Come on.
Right? See, school is not going to have you prepared to actually be able to know if you want to vote for Miss Keisha Lance Bottom or Felicia Moore. It might boil down to, well, my mama told me that the mayor is, no, we ain't talking about what your mama told you. It's your vote. Yeah. So I want you guys to kind of mull over there for a second and tell me you got one candidate now who's going to be saying, hey, she did not follow the process before firing these police officers who murdered, and she used the word murder. That's going to be her campaign, her platform, a big part. But then you got people like us who teach at South Atlanta, you guys who grew up in that area, which is like 5 or 10 minutes away from that. You being that you say College Park also 10 or 15 minutes away from that. So y'all, this right here, I'm sitting there thinking, because y'all know we had this conversation the other night in our meeting when we talking about this generation. They ain't gonna be marching and saying we shall overcome. If they let those guys out, this one's gonna step up. I just want y'all to think about this. If y'all could just start right here. What do you think the generational changers or the generation change agents, which are you guys and your peers, how do you think they're going to respond if they do not prosecute these guys for murder, and damn sure if they get to come back and work in Atlanta as police officers? What do y'all think is going to happen? Anybody can jump in, and I'm jumping off.
I could probably start. I feel as if our generation, we won't respond in a peaceful protest. I think it'll be more as if it's a riot and chaos. That's just how I feel.
I could agree with Robbie a little bit. I think it's gonna be way worse than the George Floyd protest, rioting. You know, yeah, I just think it's gonna be they're gonna take it to another level because us being our generation, we kind of have a hard time, you know, processing things in that nature. So yeah. Cool.
I mean, I just feel like the rioting, it's gonna happen, but they need to write the correct buildings, if I can say that right. Don't go tear down the black-owned businesses that you know are black-owned and that are hard-working. Go hit the city council and they building this stuff. Go hit them people.
Hey, that's how we go hit the government.
I mean, just like, be real. Go hit something that's gonna make them.
The words and comments that you hear. Yes. We want to make sure we say that the opinions that you hear on this show are not the opinions of the Walking with Walt podcast. Yeah.
Don't do like the hardworking people that the government's not gonna care about. You're going to, for instance, Big Dave's Philly cheesesteak place. Y'all close his place down. The government don't care about that.
Wow.
I'm sorry, they don't care. Yeah, it's a building, but they don't care about that.
So you with it? You with us blowing stuff or burning stuff?
Hey! Yeah, so hey y'all, this is gonna be a hot show right here. Let's not use words like blow.
Like, I'm saying, like, okay, so you remember like when the protests happened downtown, like one of the biggest pictures on CNN was them standing on top of a police car on fire.
Yeah.
I'm saying you're with it. You feel like that's
I'm
what
with
it
the
takes to
CNN
change.
building because I'm with that one. Because you see how they responded to the CNN. They didn't respond when they went down.
Oh wow.
Whatever street that was and did all the black businesses and stuff. They didn't respond.
Started losing.
Wow.
You
I
Yeah.
got a question. Why didn't they respond when it was a black owned business?
Are we gonna go there?
Anybody,
Let me say this before you even say that. I was on the NPU call like 2 days
What's
ago.
the NPU call?
I understand what that is.
It's like a community it's a community organization where they basically like
a neighborhood planning unit.
Yeah,
Like,
a neighborhood planning.
There you go.
So the chief of police was on there, and you know I'm getting on there now because, like I said, I want to get into politics and advocate on my community's behalf. And I'm listening to these old people, like I'm thinking about like my grandma age, like telling them that they called the police for shots fired and the police didn't show up. So I'm thinking if half the city on fire and they got to make a decision to go to CNN or a black-owned business.
That's a great point.
They're gonna go to CNN.
So does that mean that they don't value your generation as well as our generation? Does it mean they don't value the black dollar? I mean, because that's kind of what Coco was, the black community.
Yeah, they value the dollar, but not the community.
Yeah, for sure.
Without the black dollars, the economy wouldn't be the same.
Oh wow! So why then do y'all think? And because I don't know, y'all see, I'm just trying to hit frame something right here. So why then do you think that we continue to do the same thing and expect different results? Because your generation, if it wasn't for the what some people call the pandemic, but the pandemic or whatnot, many people said that your generation, with our guidance and support, the ones of us who believe in what you guys were protesting for, and we want to make sure we protect you from some of the decisions, like even some of the stuff that Coco is saying now. There are some people, depending on what age they are, they're gonna hear some of the word because this is her first time being in front of the camera. And we didn't have time to practice this. This is just real what teens are thinking. So what we're saying is, though, it's like we keep doing the same thing, singing the same songs or whatnot. And I think one of you guys, it might have been Eli, just said it. We value your dollars, but do we value Big Dave plays or whatnot? Because really, with gentrification going on in Atlanta, that might have been planned for Big Dave and all those businesses to get destroyed because we've been trying to get them out of there anyway.
I definitely agree. I feel like a lot of stuff was like staged during that time. Like if you think about the Wendy's on University where Rashad Brooks was murdered, Caucasian lady set it on fire.
Yeah.
I think it was framed as, a black man did this originally, but like it wasn't. So I feel like a lot of stuff that happened over the course of that time was like staged, and it was a lot of people coming from different places to make the protest negative. So even like thinking about some of the things that was going on at the time, because I hosted a few protests as well, and some officers was telling me, he was like, hey, if one person like throws something or if something go up in the air, we can arrest everybody. So I think like at times it was things staged so they could arrest people.
So Tyrese, is it fair to say that is it, Coco? I want to just keep y'all here because they need to hear what you guys are thinking, right, Ms. Bowen? Because right now we're here. So would that be? And the reason I'm asking this question, if y'all don't mind me just asking a few questions from the sideline, because I'm trying to get charged up so I can see what the people are saying. But I was just at this thing. Oh, cool. So I was just at this show, y'all, and not a show, but I was just at this academy, the Next Level Boys Academy. And we were having some real talk about being a partner to a crime. And when Coco just said that about if you're with them. So let's say if somebody did what Coco said, and I want all of y'all to kind of chime in on this. Let's say we're doing the Walking with Walt podcast, but the protest has spilled over to the Old National Corridor. You guys are just walking out the house, and the police actually tell you to get on the ground or something like that. But in actuality, they were chasing somebody else. Y'all kind of see what I'm saying, right? You guys get in the car because y'all haven't done anything, and you stab out. Police gets on the chase. Whoever the driver is, let's say Tyrese, you're the driver because you're the one who's driving today. We got two drivers, but let's say all y'all in one car. Do y'all know that if Tyrese stabs out and the police shoots and kills him, and he shoots and kills Coco, who's in the front seat, you and Robbie, who's in the back seat, y'all are gonna get charged with those murders.
Yep.
So when you guys start talking about somebody coming to the city. And I want y'all to talk from your generation because it was your protest movement. And I want y'all to be cautious about using the word riot because people want teenagers to get on camera and say riot because this is what they're going to use when it really gets to be, a real serious protest. They're going to come back and say, well, here's the young lady who talked about, destroying governmental buildings and whatnot. And so now you all of a sudden look like this domestic terrorist when we know these folks took over the Capitol building and nobody wanted them to use the word terrorism. But once a black teenager who's on her way to college use that same language, we just want to err on the side of caution. Like, this is why we have meetings before we get on. And this is why we would debrief after this first episode and say, hey, these are things that we will say, but we want to learn how to say it a little differently.
Like, why do I have to filter and they can go to the Capitol?
And that's why your generation has changed. Like so, Coco, I want you to stay there. I want you to talk about that. That's a very important question. You guys are going to change things. So we know we've been doing it the politically correct way for probably centuries since we've been here. Why is it? I think that's a great question that Coco asked, starting with yourself. Like, why is it that a white kid can do whatever?
I was asking the questions.
So, you asking it to your?
Yeah, like,
I feel like basically like why do we
Why
do you
have to do
censor
this
what,
right?
yeah, censor what we say, but they can go storm the whole Capitol and go home.
I can answer it in three words. This is America.
Wow, the
Wow.
Childish Gambino.
On that note.
Dang, that's a drop the mic moment.
So I have a question for you. You paid attention to all of the events that took place last year. When all of the protesting started with Black Lives Matter and they were at the Capitol. Do you remember the news reports? Did you see the news reports where they had the National Guard, every branch of the military? You could not set foot on the sidewalk. But in the same 6 months, if not more, they stormed the Capitol.
Yeah.
Notice that the officers moved the barricades out of the way and walked most of them into the building. Where was your mindset then? Because I called him, I was cussing. I'm not a political person. I cannot stand politics to save my life. The day I want to go live and just start cussing everybody out, I had to call Walt because I'm like, this ain't me. But it's aggravating to me because, like you said, why do we have to censor what we want to say and they can make America great again?
But when was America ever great?
Hello.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
I think it was. So when number 45 said that, I think he was saying like literally when America was great in their eyes. Like I don't feel like.
But
Like
in whose eyes? In the red's eyes or the blue's eyes?
Or in all of the eyes, because the red and the blue really does not matter.
But according to them, that's what they're basing
No,
everything on.
no, they're not. They are not basing it on that. They're basing it on that. So that flag has 3 different colors, right?
Right.
Red, white, and blue. Yeah, so we're talking about the Republicans and the Democrats. But
I'm gonna need you to go back to social studies for just a minute.
so, yeah.
Hey,
Hey, check it out. Yeah. But you see, in real time, though, that's a real question. So imagine you have made it all the way through your high school career, and nobody's talking about red and blue, and you're watching this newscast, and they're saying, hey, look, we need to make sure that we turn this state back red or whatnot. That is the key topic that's going on for the week, and you missed it. And that's why I asked that question from your generation, because you guys had, I think, a lot to do with the state being flipped.
And what's crazy is when the state turned blue, none of the schools ever taught. That was the moment to teach us right there.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest learning period, like for real. Because you know how like a lot of times is that U.S. history? That's U.S. history.
U.S. and American government.
I feel like I know like for my teacher last year, I think I took AP U.S. history.
And don't say no names.
we ain't throwing nobody else in the bus.
No, it was great. It was
Oh,
great.
okay.
It was the time where we was like, the campaign was like starting. We was like watching the electoral colleges live. Like I feel like a lot of us missed that with this campaign, like watching that stuff live in class and being able to have those real dialogues. I know I did because I had an educator at the time who taught me ethnic studies, but everybody don't get that pleasure. So I just feel
not as teacher.
yeah.
Educator.
Like, I like that. Sound like a good man.
That was the plug.
Got a plug.
That was the plug.
But yeah, I feel like for like students, like 9th graders and 10th graders, I feel like it would have been a good teaching experience that everybody, like a lot of times in history, like in history classes, we learn stuff that we didn't get to experience. And that was like history really being made. That would have been a good learning experience to actually live through in class.
Yeah, it would have been. You're absolutely right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in to the Walking with Walt podcast tonight, this is Teen Talk. This is the first of many.
Can you get right there? Yeah, right now, this one of the moments. What is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you all are just tuning in to the Walking with Walt podcast, this is our first of many episodes. This is Teen Talk with the crew. This is Coco. I got Tyrese behind me. I got Eli and Robbie beside me. And of course, I got my partner, Mr. Awaken the Genius. We want to make sure that we understand what our youth are going through right now. The suicide rates are going up with teenagers and children. The domestic abuse rates are going up. The murder rates are going up with our youth. And so we're reaching out to them tonight to get their opinion so we can have a better understanding so we all can coexist in a better situation. We do definitely want you guys to have your kids, have your teenagers tuning in tonight. Please give us a call. Call us 770-769-2106.
769-2106.
Again, that's 770-769-2106. I'm going to slide back out the screen so you all can get back to the team.
Can I jump in for one quick second, guys?
Good.
I got bars.
Hey, I want to say this right here. If you are not proud of these young people for this healthy discussion they're having, please do not be a sideline coach today and try to critique every single word they're saying, because this is new. We want all students throughout the great country of the United States of America to know that you have a voice. And if you want your voice to be heard, you got Coco, Eli, Robbie, and Tyrese here. They want to actually give you that voice. So starting with our next show, we plan on bringing people on to the live from different places all over the country, man, different states, because we will no longer have like these barriers, or we will no longer have borders that protect our children's voices, or well, no, that takes away from their voices. So what we want to do is, if you got questions out there, in a second, Ms. Born Thick and I, we will actually start fielding questions, and if that's okay with you guys. We'll actually start taking questions, because if you are a parent out there, or if you're somebody out there looking for the next generation of engineers, you're looking for the next generation of elected officials, you're looking for the next female who's going to make sure that this Title IX, that is a big topic right now in the news about females in athletics not receiving the same type of treatment. Coco, I need you to actually research that, because how are, like females in sport medicine, how are they going to be treated? Because that's what the field she's getting ready to go into. So, y'all, we won't take up no more time. So that first segment, we were strictly focusing in on politics. And we're going to break this down right here.
Can I change that word tonight?
Politics.
There you go.
We were focusing on politics. And I think these young people right here, they, well, I don't know what you think, sir. I'm not quite sure if we can say that. DJ 271, do you have like a 2 second delay on these comments? So, y'all, we want to make sure, though, that we give our young people a voice. You are walking with Walk, Walker, the realest motivator and eternal educator. You're walking with Ms. Born Thick. We decided that. Come on, can you get in here, Ms. Born Thick? You ain't got that it is. So you're walking with Walk and Ms. Born Thick, man. And what we wanted to do is something that she and I both knew we wanted to dedicate to Devin, Devon. I'm sorry, Coco, I had to realize them all up in that thing. I think I'm right there. Yeah, right there. So we want to make sure we dedicated this to my homegirl, Devin Devon, who's my business partner. We had a mantra that said that we want to change the world, and we want to do it through the voices of the children. And when we say children, y'all, we're not minimizing them, because we know they're young adults, but we know they have a voice. And right now, you guys are getting your first introduction into what Andre 3000 said many years ago at an award show. The South got something to say, but we're going to take it one step farther. The youth got something to say. So we're going to turn it back over to them.
I got something I want to ask. Like Ms. Born Thick said, she said,
I love it. I like that.
Let's go ahead and get this disclaimer. These are my students, so they don't know this side of me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We might slide her up. So you know what I'm saying? We might
I
slide.
slide right there on the floor.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, we might get that, not to say anything, but I just like that because they get a chance to see you in a different capacity. Just like Tyrese gets a chance to see me and go back. Yeah, but I'm saying, but he gets a chance. But Tyrese gets a chance to tell the other students at the school about, hey, y'all really have no idea.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience. So I want you to go ahead and jump in, man, because it seems like this might be the second segment right here.
Right. Okay. So, like Ms. Born Thick was saying, yeah, that's funny. She was saying, she said, you said something about how the suicide rates are rising within our generation.
Yeah.
I want to ask my peers, like, do y'all have an idea of why?
I can start off.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, I feel as if the suicide rate is rising because like there's no outlet. You can talk, like we have no one to vent to. If we do, people won't take that serious. They'll probably think it's like a temporary feeling. But sometimes like suicide can be dealing with depression, anxiety, all that, and people could be dealing with that for a long time. But sometimes like being that we haven't like matured yet, we can see it as if like suicide isn't that serious and nobody will really do it. That's just how I feel.
Okay.
They want to hear.
It's basically what Robbie was saying. Is we have no outlet, and then once you do tell your parent, it's like that temporary feeling. Or they be like, "Oh, it's just because you don't want to do this," or, for instance, "Oh, you don't want to go to school anymore. That's why you talking about, oh, you're gonna kill yourself. It's just you'll be fine this summer." No, this stuff is year round. It is what it is, but it's a generation thing. Black people don't have. Well, I ain't gonna say black because it might happen to any other race, but I know it's more so in the black community. What is it, y'all? When you tell, like, they don't, We said it the other night. I don't know. When you
we,
talking
we sweep it under the rug.
yeah, it's like that.
You know, I think what she's trying to say is a lot of times when you have that gap in between the child and the parent, and nowadays the child and the grandparent whoever the adult is that's raising them, a lot of times there's an age gap. And what happens is, you know, them as children, they go to their parents and they try to say something, and especially if it's a grandparent, no offense to anybody, but the grandparent's first thing is prayer. And there's nothing wrong with prayer. It's pray about it and keep it moving. But at the same time, God put certain people in place with certificates and degrees that specialize in areas of therapy and, you know, just to be an outlet for these kids. And you have to let your child know that therapy is okay. You know, in our community, it's frowned upon. It is what it is. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, something like that. Considering, yeah, but it's like we can't talk to our parents now because y'all parents told y'all will be fine, move on with life, y'all made it this way. Folks not doing that nowadays. You tell your parent one thing and your parent be like, you fine, just like their parents told them, and next thing you know, they're gone. It's too late.
But it's kind of, and I could be wrong, but this is my take on it. It's the blind leading the blind.
You right.
Because again, like you just said, our parents and grandparents taught us, okay, you're gonna be all right. Get it out your system and keep it moving. It's the same thing we tell you guys, because like you said, that's what we heard. You know what I mean? So, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to make sure we listen to our children. Because if we don't, they either gonna run out here and confide into a stranger. My grandfather once told me, your child will talk to a perfect stranger before they come to you and confide in you.
Yeah, that's why I got a therapist.
See?
No, I'm for real.
No.
I don't feel like. Oh, you go. No.
Oh, I was gonna say. So what about those children like you know how you said, well, Robbie and Corey said like the ones that we don't have an outlet. But what about those children like Tyrese said he has a therapist, but however they aren't willing to talk to their parents about it?
That's why you have a therapist, in my personal opinion. Your therapist has a non-biased opinion of your situation. Therapy isn't to tell you what to do. Therapy is to teach you how to cope. See, that's the misunderstanding that we have of therapy. That is to teach you how to, they teach you coping mechanisms, It's an opportunity for you to get it out without being judged, without saying, well, you should have did this, you should know. Okay, now that you got that out, let's see how we can deal with this better.
Right.
Tyrese?
No, I agree. I feel like I wanted to get a therapist because of like a lot of things I had going on with my dad. And I mean, I feel like it's people I can talk to. I feel like it's people I can talk to, like my parents and things. But at the same time, I felt like I just needed another like lens from another perspective. But I feel like she said, like I feel like it's overlooked in the Black community specifically. But I don't know. I'm glad like our senior class. I know like a lot of seniors they came to like me and my peer Wendy Navarez because we have therapists and they was like interested in getting one. And a lot of people don't know like APS does a really good job at like linking us with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say a lot of like I feel like we said something before the show. Like closed mouths don't get fed. Like sometimes you just got to bring it up, and maybe not your parents, because I know it's like teachers who are willing to help. Like we here with our educators, I'm sure they would assist a student if they came to them saying, I need someone to talk to who's not you, a mandated reporter.
Yeah.
Right, I was about to say, it's kind of hard. Yeah.
Hey, if y'all didn't hear that,
Right.
I need every young person out there to know we are what, Tyrese?
Mandated report.
Everything. Oh, y'all niggas don't know that. We are mandated reporters. So don't be out here in these streets messing up our face cards talking about we snitching. We are mandated reporters, and what that means to the layman out there who don't know what we mean by a mandated reporter. If a child tells us he or she is thinking about suicide or something along those lines, we are mandated to report that to our social worker, counselor, or someone who's been trained in that area, because if something happens to that person, we are liable for them. So I want to jump in right here and make sure our viewing audience know, because I know this is a sensitive time right here. And the reason I did that, and you asked me a question, I was talking on my breath. We do have our temperature gun right here. We're checking temperatures. We do have our phase mask. Everybody is clean right here and everybody's good. What we want to do is just make sure you guys are reassured that our first priority is safety. Yes. But we also want to make sure that we protect the safety of these young people's voices as well. So I heard, Coco, you were responding to something and you walking off, right? You got caught. Okay, so right now, Coco, I heard her saying something though. I think you were giving an explanation, and I was going to take a call on my own about my rental property. And what happened though, she gave a totally different. I don't know if you caught this, Robbie. Whatever Ms. Robinson was saying, Coco like no, and can you bring me back to that? She said something about the teens having a voice, and you gave a response back to it. Coco, do you remember what your mom said? It was literally as soon as I was going up the stairs.
The blind leading the blind line.
You kind of like the blind, but like right now, I think you were speaking about having a voice, and you kind of was sounding like an adult talking though. And because whatever the thing was, I wanted to come in. And when I said adult,
I know, I'm trying to remember what I said.
271. Do you have that? Isn't that why you catch that?
Yeah,
So whatever it was, though, I think that's why we have Teen Talk, y'all. And the reason I wanted to sit down right here, and I wanted us to have optics right here. I wanted everybody to see the optic of this right here. This is what you call intergenerational. A lot of times, what you said, I heard something totally different. So when our Coco and the crew got together today, I was talking to them about chemistry. There are a lot of people who are outside of letting kids have, that's what it was. You were talking about having a voice or something like that right there. And how when a lot of times when the children want to have a voice, and this is not word for word, but you kind of on this topic right here. A lot of times when the children want to have a voice, your parents or whatnot told y'all, these are almost your exact word. Like your parents might say, you fine or go on. You'll be all right. So now this generation is not the I'm okay with you'll be all right generation. Yeah, so even if you guys taking matters in your own hand is not necessarily the right way to do things, at least you are saying now we want to be in control of whatever it is that we're doing. Here's what I think this conversation, when you guys actually take this baby, because this is y'all baby, so to speak, right, Robin? Eli, y'all get this is your baby. I mean, you guys are giving birth to something right now. We are bringing back a teen summit kind of environment where we want to invite scholars out here. We want to invite social workers out here. We want to invite therapists out here. We want to invite, and I got some people that I will not call their names today. I just want to make sure we can line them up with you guys. Y'all kind of tell me and Alex what you guys kind of need us to do, because we are your servants here. And one of the things that I'm so proud of you guys about right now is that you guys did not find that robbery. You know, you guys, it takes guts to do what y'all are doing right now. Because there are a lot of people who are sitting here looking at this screen right now who are going to listen to one little statement that you might have made, Coco, one statement you might have made, Tyrese, one statement Eli might have made, one statement Robbie might have made, and all of this good stuff, Jared. We have another one of my students behind the screen, Jared. He's our photographer on deck right now. Jared, thank you for being out here too. And Jared, if you feel the need to want to come in, or if you want DJ 271 to bring you in on the screen, you can let him know, and we'll bring you in if you feel like you want to jump in on the conversation as well. But this is what I wanted, and I step back out the segment. We got to give the young people a voice. That's what this whole platform is about right here. This is their first time. The only reason Ms. Bowen thinking I sit so close today is we just want to make sure this first inaugural show goes smoothly. After this, you will see these guys, and we'll just be standing behind the camera letting them know how many minutes we got in this segment and so on and so forth. But I think I will ask this question right here, because only you guys can answer this. Y'all were talking about suicide, and I know this is close to me right here. I just say without, because people who know me out here know what I'm talking about. I can't even look at the camera and say this, but I lost what I would say is my first cousin's son, but more like a nephew, to suicide. I was teaching. I remember where I was, like when I got the news. And prior to that, when I thought about suicide, who do y'all think I thought about committing suicide? Like what group of people? White people. I was just thinking, black. So if somebody had come to me and said that black people, that doesn't mean no black person has ever committed suicide. Because I had a friend that my mom and I were talking about. His name was Terry. When we were young, he committed suicide. And to us, hell no, somebody killed that boy.
I mean, suicide is a joke.
Yeah, to us, like, no, ain't no way no black person did that. But now that I actually have a loved one who did that, when I went to school, Gerald, I came back to South Atlanta and I was talking to some of my students. Shouts out to Big Matt. He asked me this one question that I did not understand because, Coco, you guys got the answer. I want y'all to see what I did, though. He asked me a question, Robbie. I didn't do what most grown folks, you too young, how can you tell me what's going on? And this is the space I want to create, and Alex wants to create for you guys, where y'all feel like we have created this liberated space. For you guys, it's your show. Y'all do understand that, right? We're sitting here now because there's a conversation that needs to be had, and I want to just read some comments that I say this, like what people are saying about you guys right now. But when I heard the news, this is what one of my students said, Tyrese. He pretty much, he knew I'm an educator. So he know that I've been grooming them all year, not for the milestone. I've been grooming them for life. And he said, Walt, can I ask you a question? And what I always say, Tyrese, I'm not interested in the answers. I'm only concerned about the question. Is that not what I say all the time, Jared? I'm always concerned about your question. He said, Walt, he said, can I ask you a question about your son? I don't know what my son got to do with this. He said, because you say your son is, kind of introverted like your nephew was. Real good personality, never been in any trouble, because that's what I told him about my nephew. And, I was saying that he didn't get in any trouble. As far as I know, I don't even think Jerry, he smoked or drank or anything like that. I know at work, everybody always say he always had a smile on his face. That is definitely not somebody that, with our lack of training, that we would think was suicidal. And this student asked this question, Coco, and then I turn it back over to you guys. He said, well, what kind of headphones does your son wear? I want y'all to listen close to this right here. He asked, you already know, Jared is lip syncing it back there in the back. Jared, what did he say? Just say, raise your voice, Jared.
Skull candy.
I said, skull candy. He said, bro, those are earphones that people who want to lock themselves away from the world. He said, once you put those skull candy headphones on, he said, it's like you're in your own space.
Yeah, the noise cancellation.
They're noise, but see, we just know them as noise cancellation before. It's like, I don't hear anything, but there's a psychological component to that where if I want to be in my own world, this is not me, the educator talking, Tyrese. This is the educator becoming the student. Because I'm willing to listen to my student, because I have given them a platform that when we started, y'all remember I said, you got to do your research. When we had our call the other night, you can't throw these topics out there and make these general statements if you have not made, done some research on this. So I want to say, as you guys get ready to jump back in, it may be for the first time do something I've never done. And I know all you guys were proud of this, and I never wanted to be there. But I went home, Alex, and I don't feel any shame about it. I don't mean I did it regularly. I went home and I checked my son's social media.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not on there a lot. So I'm just thinking, like, my son, hell, he's so disconnected. I might look at a post. It might be 6 months before he make another post. Mm-hmm. But I saw a picture on there that frightened me. And it wasn't a picture like no sexual stuff or nothing like that. It was a dark image. Y'all know what I mean by dark, right? Mm-hmm. And then I asked him a question. And it kind of let me know that there were some things that he might have experienced in school that me being like this alpha male, no, not my son. We the Walker boys. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Hey, we'll come up there and do that. But you don't know what your children are going through in their own little quiet space.
Right.
And then when you see this child as just a child who makes good grades and a child who's in his room, he doesn't hang out in the streets, but he's blocked away. You don't know what's going on. For all you know, he could be listening to music that's talking about committing suicide. And I'm saying that's for any of your children. That's why we want to actually have these youth in here to tell us like what we need to be looking out for. Gerald, I didn't even get finished with it. I don't know if you saw him. Gerald was lip syncing exactly what I was getting ready to say. Because the youth are only, we've been there before.
Yeah.
We listen to the music that we listen to when our parents told us not to listen to the music or whatnot. And then if our parents ask us this, Alex, and I'm done, I just know, man, Gerald, I love all you guys. I know we're just building this team like Eli, Robert, Tyrese, and Coco. No, I love you guys. We got to get to a part where we don't say what we had in our meeting the other day as like your generation, y'all don't, and well, y'all generation, because what happens then, we start creating division before we ever have what we're doing right now, having some real conversation. And you guys are only going to be able to have conversation with, if you think it's hard talking about generation X, Y, Z, imagine that conversation with the baby boomers. Y'all get where I'm going? So we got to do our research on who are we as Generation Z first and foremost. Who makes up Generation X? Who is Generation Y?
Yeah.
Why do the baby boomers, tell us like don't get involved? So Tyrese, it's not that they are arguing against like you guys. You guys need to do something that Coco said, and I hate that she left because she said this the other night. She said we gotta listen more. See, as long as that baby boom generation who come from that strict disciplinarian, we will beat your butt. Would you have that paddle right there? Yeah. Yeah. See, when we went to school, y'all, this thing right here, it was legal.
And the principal had permission.
Yeah, and my principal had holes in his. So that thing right there, it was getting nothing but booty. You were getting nothing, you felt everything about it. And then, so now think about it, and I'm Generation X. I thought it was the worst decision they ever made, whatever the policy was, to remove this from the school. And you could gradually see, right, Alex? You could gradually see conduct starting to go down like this. Because now kids over. They can't touch, you can't touch me anymore. So how do you guys reconcile the generational talk we had the other day, y'all? If we could talk to our audience about that, how do we reconcile this generational conversation where just like Alex, myself, and you guys are having this conversation for the whole world to see? How do we get everybody to join on the Wednesdays that you guys are going to be doing the Teen Talk on the Walking with Walt podcast so that they will listen and ask like real questions? You know, talk to you guys like you're young adults like you are, but know that you're going to make mistakes. How do we get that conversation started, Robbie? And then, you know, we can work all the way around the room.
Like Corey was saying, something that's wrong with our generation is that we don't listen. And I feel as if we open up to like different age groups every Wednesday during a podcast, we can learn different stuff about different age groups and different generations. But like with this generation, like Corey said, we don't listen. So I think that we don't listen because we don't really comprehend what we want to hear.
Hold on. Drive that point home for a second. We don't comprehend what no, just say what you said we don't comprehend what we want to hear.
So like sometimes we want to hear the positive side, but we always look at stuff on the positive side, but we don't ever look at it like there's always a negative side to anything too. So like I don't know how to drive it home.
No, you driving it home.
What's it called? Is it called selective hearing?
Yeah.
It's called,
Yeah.
let me tap on a couple of cliches. Selective hearing, selective amnesia, and the truth hurts.
Yeah.
I'm back for this one. Wait.
That is selective amnesia right there, y'all. See, one thing we're doing on this show is we want to have an exemplar. If selective amnesia just happened, she disappeared, and then she heard what she wanted to hear.
So let me say this, because we battle, this is a battle for me and her. She's always saying, well, you don't let me do this, you don't let me do that. My thing is, y'all's generation, and it's part of mine too, has lost their damn mind. Period.
Your generation has.
Because my generation, no, because let's be honest, my generation is raising this one.
That's right. Ooh.
I'm not afraid to admit it.
I like that.
My generation is raising this generation. Them generation, what was I? Why?
Yeah.
Why in the hell are we acting like this?
And I'm Generation X, and I've been charged with educating their children.
So you know, it goes to it. And the first thing comes out her mouth. You always thinking negative. You always think. I'm not thinking negative. I'm thinking about the pros and cons of it. Prime example. If you drive my car on a learner's permit, you know how to drive, but if you drive my car on a learner's permit and you got one of these ignorant cops, or it's the time of the month where the cops got to make their quota and they just decide to pull you over for DWB, driving while black.
That's a real law to it.
It definitely is.
I mean, even though we know it's not on the book that way, but it kind of sounds like it might
I'm
be.
just saying. First thing comes out of her mouth. Mom just going up to the store. You always got to point out the negative. I'm not pointing out the negative. I don't want to be the mama on the news because I'm a cheese in my mugshot with whoever I got to take out when it comes to my children. I'm Mama Bear, y'all are my cubs. That's never going to change.
Let me take the comments out after that comment. Hey, y'all, the opinions being expressed on this show is not the opinion of the Walking with Walt podcast. Miss Boyd Thick is really talking as a parent right now. She's not speaking as a host on the show. She's speaking as a parent, and I hope everybody grasps what she just said. Driving while black. That is like real talk in the hood. You know, like they say, what's understood don't need to be explained in the hood. So with that being said, you just brought up some great points right here. Being that you are her this is like a real mother-daughter combination right here, you guys. How do you explain, Coco? Because the question got started. You remember when we were talking about knowing about Generation X, Y, and Z. I think Robbie, Eli just said like, no, you said Coco. You said I like how y'all just tied that in. You remember we had this conversation. How do y'all deal with that?
Like that example, when she explained it to me, it was a yes. But I mean, not a yes, but I understood.
Gotcha.
It'd be other examples where she'd be like, well, she don't.
She just used the best one for this.
Yeah.
That's like Generation Y. That's Generation Y for you right there. If you want me to get out of here, Coco, all I gotta do is just do a temperature. Hey, ma'am, security jail.
Okay, but it was more so she has this thing where she is when I ask to go somewhere, she'll be like no, and she'll just leave it at that, or she'll be like no, and she'll explain, and then I'll be like, okay, well, you act like no. My thing is. It's not, I feel like you don't trust me. She's like, I don't trust, it's not that I don't trust you, I don't trust other people. Right. But then she also has this mind where I can't control other people's children. So how I'm gonna go through life with you not trust other people, but
So let me say this again. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. As a parent,
Yes.
we try to protect our children as much as we can to the point where we get overprotective. I was sheltered. No offense to anybody.
kid,
Shut your
great
mouth.
kid.
But I was a sheltered child. It was a lot of stuff. You got way more leeway and freedom than I had. Way more. I didn't get buck wild until after I had children. But my thing is, I was around people. And again, because we work in the school system, we see a whole lot more than we would if we didn't.
Yeah.
If I was still in that corporate world, I really wouldn't pay attention to what goes on with your peers. Why? That's not what I see from 8 to 5. I just see what happens with my children and your friends who are directly, y'all are always at my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I try to protect you from what I see.
Can
I got
I,
a question.
Tyrese, before you ask a question, can I kind of tell y'all what people are saying out here?
Oh yeah, because Coach
Eli-
Cam is going in.
Eli, Bobby, Coco, Tyrese. Let me just tell y'all, and these are people who I respect. Like I have mad respect for. I'm sitting here listening. Just 1 second. He's gonna get his question. You're gonna get your question. I want y'all to kind of see how the show is going right now. This is your first show. This is what people. This is my sister, as a matter of fact. She says, "I'm learning from these young leaders. Keep educating us. Love it." See, people are already starting to see y'all as young leaders. That's why I say we gotta be careful about the words we use, because just like she's saying, I'm loving it, young leaders. Somebody else is saying, but still, go back and play it again. What the girl said on the show. See, there's always gonna be those naysayers, but we're not focusing on them right now. Somebody else said right here, Dane, Wednesday basketball practice. So she said, like, she missed it. But hey, Helen, we need you to watch the playback of this right here. But she said, I'm tuning in though, y'all, with Generation Z. She's tuning in with See, this language is being used right here. Who even knew what the generation were when we had this conversation?
Right.
We didn't even know. They were lost. So we want to tell Generation X and the baby boomers and everybody about how we about to change them things.
Right.
Hell, you don't even know what generation you're in. But that's why this conversation is healthy. As I turn over, let you read a couple. This is one of my big brothers right here, Baba Wakesa Mazimoyo. He said, powerful voices. This brother has he does a program or a training called Healing Oppression's Wounds. Healers, warriors, and builders. So for him to say powerful voices, that's man, you guys are being elevated by somebody who I look up to. Are y'all hearing me? See, so your voices, we're going to give them this voice, y'all. You don't have to agree with what the teams are saying, but you are going to listen if you follow the Walking with Walt podcast, because like we said, the South got something to say and the youth got something to say. And I read one more of these right here, Alex, and if you want to jump in, you can read some of them as well. Oh, this is one of my college classmates. She's a college, I think she is working at the university level, Zilla Matari Fluker, and her husband, Kwame Fluker, he's a political science major with me. So here's these connections I told y'all about right there. We don't know who's watching. And somebody might be looking for a sports medicine person that they want to give a full ride to. And because you're bold enough, Coco, to speak for your generation, because Tyrese is bold enough to actually say he wants to run for city council or whatnot. Because we got 2 engineers. Do y'all know y'all shouldn't pay 1 penny to go to school? As black men who wants to major in anything dealing with math or STEM, engineering, you shouldn't pay 1 penny to go to school. But we got to be cautious about what we talked about earlier about us being on time. And on time means to be early. About us having that chemistry. Like this show is just the beginning of all 4 of you guys talking about scholarship opportunities. And I'll read one last comment because I don't want these 2 to forget that question. And the last one, Baba Wakesa said right here, great conversation. Y'all remember what we said the other day, Robin? We said we don't want to feel like we're out here trying to be somebody's teacher. We want to feel like we're just having what? A regular conversation. See, America, like Brandon Mack said, America. We're having a conversation, America. Baby. So now we got this conversation going. You got America's attention. We're at the 1 hour mark, literally, you guys, based on what we said. We're at the 1 hour mark. Then we said we're going to go fast?
Yeah.
We've already done an hour, and we just have to say, so Tyrese, without any further ado, to get us started for segment 3.
Wait, they both had a question.
Yeah, I'm saying, but I see what you said. So it might be 2 separate questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyrese, do it. Yeah, but hold on, Tyrese. Y'all see how Miss Bowen think trying to be on the team?
No. That was a sound check. Let's go back. That was a sound check.
Like T.I. said, you should have seen me before I had children.
What you say, type it in.
Yeah, she can put that there. She can put that in the chat.
That would have too long. We would have been in a whole nother segment. Now you got to bring out. Come on now.
She get it from her mama.
Oh no, she works
She
with
get
me.
it from her mama,
She
y'all.
way
Why
worse
can't you ever stay out these places?
Go ahead,
than me. She go on the couch.
But you was talking about how like being that you work in the school system, like you see basically how
Very
your
that's
type
good.
act. So it makes you more cautious when dealing with your child because you see it, like you see it on a daily basis. So like, is it a way to separate the two? Like I don't know personally because like,
It is.
my mom ain't no teacher. Hey, I think she would act different if she was a teacher.
Well, and here's the thing for me. Her friends, my daughter tell you in a heartbeat, I don't like people. She don't. But at the end of that's
Do
her.
you like us?
If she sit in the room with us this long,
I'm here.
yes.
Okay.
But the thing about it is see, her circle has been her circle for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm open to, I want her to be open to having new friends. I don't want her to be green to the new friends that she acquires. You all are getting ready to go to college. So you getting ready to walk into a whole new circle where your discernment has to be the only discernment in the room. So you won't have us come the fall of this year to say, no, I don't like that person or they vibe wrong. You need to watch them unless we come visit you or you bring somebody home from school with you. You won't have that. So in these years that we have to teach you, I want you to understand what it means to see somebody or get that vibe. And she has a great discernment. Hers is sometimes better than mine. But you have to understand people's energy.
So can I ask Tyrese to say, like, based on what you just asked or whatnot, what would you say to all of these parents and, you know, educators who are in the space, like Alex said, we're fortunate to be in that space and see what we see. Because a lot of times other parents who are not working inside like a building, they hear the stories, but they, you know, it's almost like it's one extreme or the other, right, Tyrese? If they hear about a big fight at South Atlanta or a big fight at Best or a big fight at Mays, all they hear is the word what, y'all? Out of the whole thing, the one word that they hear, I forgot, y'all. Oh, man. They hear, yeah, I'm sorry. But if they hear about a big fight, the only word they are going to extract from that is going to be what? Fight. So now all of a sudden, don't mess around and I'm going in Coco's defense, just speaking for Generation Z. Don't mess around and want her friends in the fight. Sometimes as a parent, and tell me if I'm wrong, Coco, we just say, but still, somebody told me that girl was the one who was up there fighting, the little girl I was just telling you not to hang with. But mama, did they tell you the whole story? This girl right here, we was just sitting in the cafeteria, but we're looking at it from another generation's lens.
Because we're looking at it like it's unnecessary foolishness.
Yeah, but then now, here's where it gets interesting. If somebody pulled back my track record, y'all get what I'm saying? So if somebody, let's say, like I can just see Coco being, you know, like a child that comes and say, you know, like, you feel me? And they pull it back, y'all get what we're going, right? And then say, hold on, somebody told me y'all got into a little basketball game, man, and you did A, Y, Z. Well, we ain't talking about me. See, that's when that selective amnesia and all that stuff. So selective amnesia, if I'm right, y'all, it goes both ways. Like parents, a lot of times, you forget that you were the dude who would initiate the fights, you know, whatnot. When I said initiate, I didn't say started. I'm just saying, you know, you were ready for all the smoke when you were my age. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, I'm be honest with you, I tell folks, you invite me to a cookout, I'm bringing extra meat.
We're gonna, y'all, that generation raised me. Y'all
didn't catch that. Wait a minute. Y'all did not catch it. You invite me to a cookout, I'm bringing extra
meat. So it's like, hey man, I want that smoke. We got the lighter fluid and all that right there. So whenever we got, see that hit him. Did you catch it up? So that means like Robert said he caught the lighter fluid piece. So now from break, that means whatever. So you can't invite me to a party and think that you just gonna be camping out here in the street or whatnot, and we're not gonna come and see about you.
Right.
That's how we were. So what I'm saying is this right here. It's no different. Well, when you say stuff like, well, our generation, no, if you did instead of talking to your grandparents, if they let you have a real conversation like we have it now, you might start finding some stuff out about your grandma and your granddad. They weren't always preachers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like, really, it's almost scary. Like, you start peeling back the layers to that onion. So I think that's why Coco was saying, parents who are listening, and Tyrese, when you have that question, I want you to talk to these folks. Let them know, like, what do y'all need from us? I mean, like, real talk, what do y'all need from us? Do y'all need a little more transparency?
I think it works both ways, though. Like, I feel like we can't ask for, like, our parent to be transparent, and then we tell them, like, half the story. Right? Because I know, like, nowadays, you know, we older, we 18, we go out, we do things.
Y'all 18, she ain't got that.
I'm the baby.
That's why when I asked about voting, I was like, oh, okay.
But yeah, like, you know, situations happen. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy, but a situation happened in my office recently.
Yes.
And I was like debating if I wanted to tell my mama the whole story because I was like, she may feel like it's unsafe, which at the time I was like, it's unsafe for certain people to be here at a time.
Yes.
Like, and I wasn't even there. Like, I wasn't even typed there. So I'm like, I left what I was doing to get there because I knew it was people in the building. I'm like, this ain't even how stuff's supposed to go down over
So
here.
Tyrese, being a political science major, this is real talk, real time. I want to ask him a political science major. In that moment, with what you just said, like, I don't know if I want to tell my mama the
Whole truth.
So when you go to court now, imagine if you're a government educator, not teacher. Because when we start this conversation, we got people who don't know what the red and blue stand for. That means they might have got an A or a B. No. Hey, what the kids look at that? Hey, no cap. Yeah, no cap. Them y'all on the bus right there. But no, I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus, but think about this. When you walk out of that school, I often say to you guys, you know this, Tyrese, like, you'll be at graduation without an education. So now, when Tyrese just said in that moment, this is why in the court of law, they say, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. So when you get up there, you guys, we don't get that until we find ourselves there saying, bro, hey man, no cap, I told the folks the truth, but did you tell the whole truth? See, if you tell the truth and you leave out the part that we have been drinking before, you know, the police pulled us over. That now, as somebody who's going to be getting ready to prepare my defense or whatnot, I need to know the whole truth. Because once you tell me that you guys were drinking, you know, when all this stuff pops out. Yeah, so now I know I need to get somebody, Tyrese, going to, he wants to possibly be a lawyer. We need to make sure that we get an expert witness who can come in and say that at Coco's body weight, she had one drink, and everybody said she only had one drink. She didn't even drink the whole thing. Now we can, but if you didn't tell us that one little thing right there.
You go to court and they talk about, and they were drinking.
Yes, and that's all the
You had the whole bar, you had the whole shot.
Generation, look, you look out there, now all of a sudden we start having our teen talk conversation. You look out at the jury, it is all generation X and baby boomers.
We gonna meet your grandmama and your great grandmama and some.
Yeah, but imagine if you guys take what we're doing now, what you're sharing with the world right now, and we're gonna go back and debrief after this conversation. Imagine it because we have learned as a group together, as a team on the Walking with Walt podcast, with whatever we're gonna decide to call this team talk piece. But imagine if you guys learn to empathize with other generations. And you're sitting there in front of a court, a crowded court, and the jury sitting there like, yeah, you know how teenagers are. And you guys say, first and foremost, let me say to my great-grandfather who fought in World War II or whatnot, you know, I want to say I did not mean to bring shade on everything you worked so gallantly for to give our family a good name. And I want to say to all the vets in the room, because I know that the officer who pulled me over, I did my research. We've actually had a chance to sit down and talk. We worked through some things and whatnot. And I just made a bad decision that night.
Acknowledging your role.
Yeah. So now all of a sudden you acknowledge that whole generation. See, even though you just said to my grandfather, by default you're talking to those baby boomers or whatnot. And then now let me say to the officer, because we've had a conversation, I'm not asking for any mercy. I made the decision that I made and whatnot, and I am willing to tell the whole truth about that night. And now all of a sudden, now, hey, this young person knows some stuff right here. And then we get to that final thing. When you get ready to tell what your truth is, you got our undivided what? That's exactly right. But if you come in and say, see, we already know y'all folks ain't gonna believe and whatnot, man. Y'all already
it builds trust.
Yes, and that's what we're doing right now, you guys. Right now, we are building trust with this first show.
So can I say
Yes,
something?
ma'am.
You said
Great
your
question,
truth,
Tyrese.
and then y'all said the whole truth. Y'all know they always say it's three sides to the story. The truth, whole truth, and the truth, your truth, and their truth. Whose truth is it on the stand?
That's damn. See, that kind of question you put in the chat in my room right there. Give me time to sit back on that. That's a great. Hey, can somebody out there tell us? Go, let's do this right here. And I'll let Conor attorney come
I like that question.
Hey, y'all, Tyrese getting ready to give us his explanation as a future attorney. If we have any attorneys out there right now, go. No, I want you to tell them after we get go.
You gotta speak loud.
You got three truths.
You got three sides.
They say when you understand, it's the whole truth, but it's three truths: your truth, their truth, and the whole truth. Who knows the actual truth?
That's for us to make a decision on.
And the thing is, I asked that because when y'all said that, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell the truth, tell my truth.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell everything to get me
That's
out
like,
the
but
clear.
that's like a snitch. The snitch was there. The snitch was in the car. I ain't put, no, Your Honor. He pulled the trigger. He was driving. Well, how you know? Because you was in the same car, so I gotta charge you with the same thing I'm charging him with.
That's why
You
sure.
were there.
But, like,
So that's the truth. That's what I'm saying. If I tell my truth, it's gonna give me a lesser sentence.
So,
With my truth gonna give you all the way. I
so are you saying your truth will get you out, but it might leave all the rest of us who in the car in a jam?
I feel like that goes with
Hey, that's not. Hey, sorry, did go back over to that mama-daughter conversation they were having a while ago. This why your mama, there might be another friend like you. And your mama said, you ain't call that friend right there. And that friend was your mama, so Coco, can you imagine this? Coco, can you imagine? No, but imagine they get to your friend first. Y'all know when they go take you to, well, not that y'all know. Hey, I don't mean they know. I don't mean this is the whole truth. Yeah. But you know, when they take you downtown, they put you in a separate room. And if they get that one person first and she say,
And they weak.
yeah, and they tell, but they're telling their truth because they're concerned about, I don't want my mom to know that I got locked up. My uncle Gerald came and got me out, and he promised not to tell my mom. And now I was like, all I was concerned about, because I might even have a scholarship on the line. I can't let this make it to the news. I didn't mean to get my friends or whatnot caught up in a bind or whatnot, because I know Tyrese gonna be okay. You know, they might say Tyrese, you know, got his mentor or whatnot who's gonna, you know, maybe use his connect. I know Eli gonna be okay because Eli daddy, you know, but in your mind, that's just what you're thinking because you're only concerned about you. So when you ask that question, I think it would be good to hear if we got a lawyer out there to tell us that, because I think sometimes we use our homeboy hookup, you know, brothers who've been to the prison. Because it's so amazing to how many people been to prison that they know the law. And I mean, there are some people who study the law in prison, but 90% of them, if not more, they're basing the law on what happened when they went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Not the history of the law and how they came to it. So we can argue that the whole is maybe something that we need to be trying to amend, because that right there was good for that time period, but it's not good. Like right now, we never had a law that deals with First Amendment having something to do with Instagram and having to do with, you know, like TikTok or something like that. So what happens if somebody says something on Instagram or somebody says something on TikTok or whatnot, and somebody say, hold on, go back and get that episode with, hence what I said earlier about be cautious what we say. If somebody go and pull that, now that wasn't allowed because we didn't have internet, now that's something that could get you locked up. But your homegirl was just really like, hey, yeah, we out here, they got pistols, and you know, Jerry, y'all out here on the show, they waving pistols, and somebody say, hold up, what kind of gun did you say was involved in that murder? And now, you who did not have anything to do with it, you on that live broadcast with your friend that your mama told you not to be hanging with, and the thing that got you, because now you're partner to that crime.
You see how you said that she was with the people that her mom told her not to be with. That goes down to what we originally said. Our generation has a problem with listening. You know what I'm saying? So we start listening.
Oh, we listen, but we don't comprehend.
Can I say something about
So let me hear. But Alex, would you say this? I like that you being honest. Well, didn't our generation, like your generation, have a problem with what grown folks had to say?
Yeah,
My generation had a problem. So every generation, y'all, that's why I said we gotta be cautious about saying y'all. Because the only thing that's different is you guys are the new our generation. If y'all gonna have children one day, and they gonna be saying the same stuff. Like, man, my mama don't get it. You think you still cool mama. Coco was like, she the coolest mama ever, whatnot. You was like, you the coolest dad ever. Then one day your child will just say, man, y'all over. What? Auntie.
So let me ask this question to all of you, and I want to start with Eli and Robbie. Do you all feel like you have enough of a rapport to be honest with your parents and have this type of conversation with your parents and not feel like they're going to place blame, point fingers, or just sweep it under the rug?
Are we talking about like a situation? Like
No, I'm just saying to have a general conversation.
Give us a pray one, like we talk about sex, or we talk about, you know, getting locked up, or what? Like, give us one so they can kind of.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's talk about sex. My rule with my children is, with anything, I would rather you, if you don't feel comfortable with coming to me, go to an adult that you're comfortable talking to, because I would rather you be educated the right way than to go out here and try something stupid on your own and come back with something or someone you cannot get rid of.
Or get educated by your peers who are 16, don't know
nothing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You all feel like you have that kind of relationship with your parent, because these are things that we need to know. Because some of us ran out here and we just jumped ship and we just tried some stuff and you know,
All right.
So you guys got before y'all answer. These are some topics that grown folks, Eli, Robert, all you guys, these are some things that grown folks are saying while we're speaking. Just based on that question that was just asked. I don't know which one of y'all asked the question, but just based on, you see what she said, smoking weed, sex. Like, things like, would you have that conversation with your parents about smoking weed? Would you have that conversation with your parents about having sex?
oh, wait, he's shaking. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Eli, hold him.
Hey, some of y'all parents need to close your ears because you might not want to have this conversation, but I just want to just let y'all know folks are listening in.
I can say, I'm just be honest. No, I'm really not. I'm not as comfortable as I should be because, like, I'm
No, wait. You're not as comfortable as you would like to be.
Right. Yeah, that.
Because it makes it, just so we don't have
Yes,
confrontation against the parents, who other parents may be watching.
Yeah, as I would like to be. That's because I'm the youngest of 5. Some of y'all might know that. So when I try to bring up certain points, it's always, okay, I had a child that did. Everybody been through the same thing.
Oh, wait, but aren't you the only boy too?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So you kind of got everybody who made mistakes.
Yeah, so
I don't want you to be like brother 1, sister 2, brother 3. So you got everybody.
So it's levels. Like, okay, I'm a big brother. Basically stair steps. I'm at the bottom, basically. So it's like, if
You can't get away with nothing.
Right. I really can't have that conversation if it's like, okay, boom, your brother done did this, or your sister done did that.
Good point.
It's like, what can I say now? Now I'm just holding everything in, doing what I do.
I feel like, but in a situation like that, you got the pleasure of talking to them. Like, since they've been through it, I feel like it'd be like more relatable to talk to them.
If they're receptive to have the conversation.
But have you ever tried to have the conversation that he's talking about with your big brother? Because a lot of times I think they will be receptive.
I'm brother know everything. But
So you do have that conversation with your big brother, but maybe not
with
with your parents.
my parents.
I understand. I'm with that. Because I just know when I got ready to have sex, I wasn't talking about that stuff.
See, I've been a little quiet this last 15 minutes. I was with y'all.
Do you feel comfortable?
I have a bond with my mother, not so a tight bond with my dad, but we talk. But me and my mom, we talk about stuff like we were saying, probably drugs, not drugs. You know how we young, we try stuff. Yeah, marijuana, sexual intercourse. We talk about stuff like that.
So why not with your dad? I want you to continue the same line, but why not with your dad?
It's just personal, me and my dad don't talk about stuff like that.
Gotcha.
We just never had the opportunity to. But me and my mom, we got a close bond. And like Eli was saying, you can talk to your like the stairway thing with the siblings. My sister's a certified counselor, so I feel as if talking with my sister, it would be better than talking to my mom, because my sister, she's like
trained. Yeah,
she trained to talk back, give a positive, not a positive, but the right response to me.
Can I ask this? Because I'm loving this. I was literally, and you asked something, I was literally talking to a parent today who wants me to talk to their child about exactly what he's saying. And I said, right now, because here's the conversation. Well, I want to have this conversation with my son or whatnot. And my word was, but you are involved in the conversation. So it's kind of like one of those conversations that involves, let's say it's not my biological, parent, but that person has raised me. But you don't understand what a disdain is between what he refers to as your husband, you refer to as his stepdad. So right there's a gap. So he's talking to you about the resolution. There needs to be like a third person involved in there if you and him are gonna have a conversation. Because what's gonna happen? And outside, and it can't be you. And this is what you're saying. I love my mama. But me and my mama, we start having this conversation, it's going to turn into an emotional conversation. And then now it's going to be like what you guys might experience or whatnot at the house. And I love that we're talking about counseling and stuff like that. I wish I had gotten counseling. I understand that there's some trauma in what you're saying. Think about not having your sister, and even sometimes not even having her there, because there's an emotional connection, even though she's trained in that. Like if you start saying too much about her mom. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still, even though I'm trained in it,
I'm still your sister.
That's still our mama. Exactly right. Hey, now you starting to step outside. Hold on. Are we still in counseling session, or you just not my sister? So I think right there, what you're saying, and I guarantee you, if we peel the layers back, there might be something that his sister uncovered about why he doesn't feel comfortable talking to his dad about these things. There might be something that I learned this past weekend, and I'm just telling you this is happening because we're having this conversation. You might be stuck somewhere with something that happened with you and your dad at 5 years old, and you never dealt with that stuckness. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I don't trust that. You ain't never, since then you ain't really done nothing wrong to me, but I've been stuck there. And what happened is, yeah, and this happened in real time at this thing I said I was at this weekend. And the man who's the therapist or the counselor at the time, I can't remember his title, but I just know he was brilliant. And he said to the lady, this question, he said what happened was he got stuck with his dad. And you did what most mothers do. You start over-parenting. And she said, what do you mean? Over-parenting means now you the mama, he's stuck with his bull crap or whatnot. Instead of you letting him deal with that stuff, or you saying you and your daddy got to have a conversation. You jumped in and you became super mom. And you protected him from being hurt for the rest of that time. So now you come to see it in high school and he got these scholarships to Howard, or he got a scholarship offered to Tuskegee. And all of a sudden you say, why the hell did you go off when this only 3 days before graduation? He went off because you told him that his dad was coming to his graduation. All of a sudden, that stuff that you never allow him to deal with.
It's festering.
Yeah, so like right there, that might, and I'm not a counselor, but I just know I work with enough black boys to know that a lot of times when we start really having that real conversation, man, I'm mad at my daddy, Walt. You know what I'm saying? And the brothers will cry. And like, Walt, hey man, sorry about that. And they will apologize to me for crying, like, no, bro. I'm just caught in the moment. Let it out. So I think, I just want to fix that thought. So is that maybe a reason? Because maybe there's an answer that your dad can give on certain things that your mom can't do, but your mom, what the guy said, Alex, he said your mom a lot of times, or that single parent, you know, whoever the single parent is, they are your first teachers to teaching you how to manipulate. Yeah, so now your mom, all you gotta do with your mom with that conversation that you having is, all you gotta do is just say, bruh, man, I don't mess with him. Because your mom might still have this day. So now in her over conversation, she can use this as a moment to buy you the PS5 and start talking about how no good your daddy is. And now instead of y'all dealing with what got you stuck, now you and your mama more like friends having that conversation about whatever, instead of having that.
I be over here thinking like, do I do that?
I was just thinking about that too.
No. This is why I honestly love my conversations with my daughter. Like I've had people criticize me about their relationships with my children because I give them an opportunity to speak. I might not know what my response may not be always what they want to hear or to see, but I do try to hear you because I didn't have that. No offense to anybody, but again, as kids, we didn't have that outlet when I was growing up. I couldn't go to my granddaddy and say, this is how I'm feeling. He a pastor and retired Navy, but I don't care. Ooh, in what house?
You ain't paying no bills. We don't care how you feeling.
And this was my dynamic. In my grandparents, I was the baby, but out of my parents' children, I'm the oldest. So on this end, I'm like you. I can't get away with nothing because of what everybody else did. But on this end, I'm supposed to be setting examples. Wow.
With their permission, can if you want to continue, you can. But when you get through saying what you said, I know you got a question. There's a counselor. Well, I mean, this brother who I told y'all was asking what we own earlier. Alvin Tucker, thank you, man, for joining us on the Walking with Walt show from Montgomery, Alabama. This brother's doing great work down in Montgomery with young black men. As soon as this future engineer Robbie finished making this point about being able to talk to his mother, I want to bring him on with you guys' permission. Can I bring him on? 271, can we bring him on, Alvin Tucker?
Before we do that, we need to make one announcement.
Okay.
We want to shout out to our sponsor.
Yes.
We have our first sponsor for the Walking with Walt podcast. Shout out to the Pink Cakery who came through.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Jada will walk through the door.
You didn't see 271 trying to show out today. I just said 271. We need you to.
And he already got it ready. So again, shout out to Jada and what's his wife's name?
Nakia Walker.
Jada and Nakia Walker. We hoping we get that knock on that door again tonight so that the boys can do
You got
a dance like Coco did last week when she ate them cupcakes. But that's okay. We're gonna jump back in. We just had to make sure we shout out our sponsors, y'all. And if you're interested in sponsorship, please email us at the Walking with Walt podcast at gmail.com. Reach out to on Facebook, our Walking with Walt podcast, or King Walker or Alexandria Robinson, whichever you so choose. But we are definitely looking for sponsors. Back to you.
And with that being said, I don't know what we are. Are we still alive? Can somebody hear us? All right. So with that being said, if you want to finish your thought, Robin, because you saying you can have that conversation with your mom, but you can't have it so much with your dad. And me being a dad, I mean, I'm sensitive to this because as a dad, I feel that same way. Sometimes I feel like I'm left out the equation. And you know, so if somebody was to talk to you as my son, let's say hypothetically, you're my son, you might say, yeah, me and my dad didn't really talk like that, but you didn't give me a chance to talk.
Right.
So I want you to try to help, like, even if there's a dad out there who son might think like, well, my dad won't understand, but if you never gave dad a chance to get involved in the conversation, he might have had the answer that you needed.
Yeah.
And it might have been an answer that was, I think one of you guys said earlier, like, the truth hurts. So maybe the reason you don't like having that conversation with your dad is because your dad, and it could be the mama too, I'm just saying whoever it is, they might give you some truth that you don't really want because your truth, even as true as it is, we still ain't never dealt with. You weren't there for me. You left, you know, because like think about this, if my dad, and I don't even know Robert's situation for everybody listening, but if my dad left like when I was 6 years old and I've been bitter all that while because, you know, all I heard was my mama's side of the story. Can you imagine one day just to find out that the reason your dad left was because of some stuff that your mom did that put all of your lives in jeopardy? And she said that if you don't leave this house tonight, Negro, because I've been watching a lot of stories with, you know, like domestic stuff with parents killing children and doing this. And that could have been enough for him to say, I love my children enough that I will leave because of my love for my children. But all from 6 to 18, all you heard on auto is your dad ain't there. He cares so much about you, why he ain't ever been here for Christmas or whatnot. But you didn't know that the other parent was saying to that person, if you call here, I'm gonna have them charged for to do this and that. If you do that. But now as a child, you sitting there now at this age now, you saying, dang, after we did that first show, Jerry, I got some other things, you know, some things that I need to process. Let me sit down and have a conversation with my dad or whatnot, and then all of a sudden you meet your dad, and I say this, Robbie, and I want you to pick back up. Right. One person who's probably watching this show now, Jeremy, he was one of your classmates at Thera. And he was in Brothers Building Up Brother. He told me one time, bro, I don't want to talk to my dad or whatnot, man. You know, I said, bro, why don't you want to talk to your dad? Same exact thing he just said. And I'm saying this, Rob, because I hope that you'll listen to this and tie this in after your comment to like something just to think about. I said, brother, you only heard about your dad through your mom. You got all of these things, and every time I ask you something, it all comes by way of your mom. I said, as a man now, because you said you're a man, call your dad. He's like, bro, why he didn't call me? I said, let me ask you another question, follow-up question. Y'all notice I'm just asking a question. I said, does your dad have your number?
Oh no.
No. He know his dad ain't got his number.
But that's gonna be the first thing.
No, his answer was no.
Oh,
I said, does your dad have your mama's number? He said, no, because my mama changed her number. I said, does your dad even know where you live? He said, no. And this is what happened, y'all. No exaggeration. Yep. This person said they were in Birmingham, Alabama. Y'all know I can't make this up. He said, we were in a barber shop. And this dude in there said, bro, man, you know what he look like? I only have to finish this story. Y'all know what it's going, right? He looks just like something. What do y'all think happened when they said he looked like somebody? What do y'all think? They called, and then the grandma, they said, when they grandmama saw this boy, I was about to bring tears to my eye, because I know y'all, sometimes these conversations, y'all, that we having right here, it goes deeper than what folks gonna hear, because we're gonna debrief and get a chance to actually talk about, hey, maybe I got some counselors I can hook you guys up with. And maybe we can put, I'm saying this is real talk. Yeah. That boy said, man, when they took him around that corner, which was not even 2 minute blocks away from that barbershop, he said, my grandmother, are y'all ready for this? He said, my grandmother had a damn charm bracelet. She said, I've been holding on to this bracelet because I knew I was going to see my grandchildren again. Wow. He said, hold on, what you mean you're going to see us again? We thought y'all didn't want to see us.
No, the mama kept you from her. I don't like women like that.
But this is my point. So a lot of times, I'm not saying this is the only thing. That's just one scenario. So imagine how many, and it could be the daddy doing this. Because y'all know there's some daddies who got custody or whatnot. Yeah. And that daddy could be bitter with your mama, you know what I'm saying? And now he's using that, and now all of a sudden, before you know it, you start to take on your daddy's mindset about your mom because you were too doggone proud to call her and let her at least talk. Because really, it was just anger. It wasn't that you didn't love her. You were stuck. You were stuck as a 6-year-old. Now you're 18. Now you feel like you know a little bit more. And you say, hold on, bro. You ain't been here all these years. Robbie, will you just let me talk?
Oh, you can talk.
No. I'm saying this what that parent is. Yeah. Robbie like, no, Robbie like, hell, I'm listening too. But Robbie, you see what I'm saying? So I'm really not asking that because sometimes men don't have a voice.
Nope.
And then it's like people just automatically say, well, you know how black dads are, whatnot, you know, he cared then why he do this. Yeah, you get grouped without a deadbeat. And I just want to make sure that we create a platform for them when they're running the show. And Robin, you have that 18-year-old who actually comes in on the screen and say, well, what you do if you know your dad? And Robin just say, well, I know one night we were having this conversation, and I actually went and had a conversation with my dad after the show. And he's right. And what I say is with that story, that dad and them got together. And then, Alex, watch this. That situation got resolved. And one more from Thero, this kid right here. He talked to his dad. And when his dad died, he came to me and he hugged me and we started crying. He said, thank you, big bro, for telling me to have that conversation. He said, me and my dad so much alike. Him and his dad, he found out his dad was a musician, played, instruments just like him or whatnot. And then his mom died too. So shouts out to that brother who I'm talking about. He know who I'm talking about. Fresh, love you, man. His mom and dad has transitioned in, but all of them had a chance to reconcile as a result of me just being bold enough to say, bro, call your dad. See, a lot of times your mama, you don't know what she was in that period when she started having that, that hate or animosity. But now she's in a different space and she might have totally just forgotten about that. But she started planting those seeds that, early on. And she didn't even realize every time, you heard it, she was watering that seed. And vice versa, if every time you heard it from the dad, who's the custodial parent, he was watering that seed. And now you have created this monster, not on purpose, but it has the same impact, whether it's knowingly or unwitting. So, Robbie, I'll let you have it, and then we'll bring that man on because he might want to ask you guys some questions on Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, but like I was saying, with my mom, I feel more comfortable talking with my mom. But like with my dad, like if I talk to him about a situation or something that happened, he's going to tell me what I want to hear instead of if me talking to my mom, she's going to tell me what I need to hear. So like I was saying, it's come back to selective hearing, and you need to hear the truth because sometimes the truth do hurt.
Yeah.
But it's good to know the truth and pros and cons. Like Ms. Robinson was saying, you need to hear the pros and the cons. But like when I used to talk to my dad, he used to always tell me what I wanted to hear. And it was never beneficial to me.
Yeah.
But like when I talk to my mom, she'll always tell me, don't do this. And she'll tell me why not to do it and give me examples and like stuff that they did when I was younger.
That was what she was saying.
Did your dad live with you?
Yes. Yeah, he lived with me.
Okay, so now what and y'all tell us what y'all think about this. Jerry, we're ready to bring Mr. Tucker on. If you can bring Alvin Tucker on. So right here, what y'all think about this? A lot of times parents who overcompensate, when I talk about overcompensating, a lot of times they think they're doing good by giving you everything. Kind of like what you literally just said this. Yeah. So you were telling me what I want to hear because in your mind you think I want to hear that. Yeah. No, I want you to be a dad. I don't want you to be my homeboy. I want you to tell me, Negro, somebody gonna blow your fucking brains out your head if you keep walking around here thinking that you cool and you hard because you from Cleveland. Everybody from Cleveland is not hard.
That's true.
Just because you grew up in Four Seasons don't mean you can fight. You get a chance a lot of time to ride that wave of your neighborhood. And then that parent who's telling you what you want to hear, they might say stuff like, yeah, bro, you stay loyal to the hood or whatnot. No, bro, you ain't got nothing to do with that pressure that the hood has created. That's exactly right. That's why everybody stay in the hood, Coco. So the issue we're talking about, you guys are for change at 5 because Jared is going to be a part of this too. You guys are change agents. Jared, you might call that damn look. Y'all are change agents, man. And you guys got to be willing to take their hearts by the rein and speak to those people because right now, man, look at this right here. Jeremy, let me know when that brother's ready to come on, Jeremy. Look at what they're saying.
I have one person asking for the number. The number is 770-769-2106. 2106.
So I got a question. Because I just figured out all y'all the youngest. You youngest or the oldest?
Yeah, 18. I'm 18.
No, she's saying the younger are your siblings.
Your household.
Middle.
Oh, you the middle.
He the black sheep. That's middle time. I always say that is bad. They treat you different.
Y'all being the youngest. Y'all got older siblings, like y'all can find out and test the waters. I'm the oldest, and clearly I am the water that's tested.
Yes.
And like can't get away with burning a piece of toast, but the other ones can't. Like, how does that? Why is that?
Look at me.
No, it's crazy because I had this conversation with my colleagues before I left. So
Today?
Before I left work today.
She had to go in the building.
I had to go in the building today. So and
shouts out to the educators who didn't have to go in the building today.
I'm gonna get you. So what it is again, we're not always right. You are my oldest child. I learned as you learned.
Good stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I learned as you learned. I babysat most of my teenage years. but those weren't my children. I gave them back. I couldn't get rid of you.
So can I
So I did, but I'm saying I did what I knew, and as much as I am the number one, anybody that grew up with me knows that I cannot stand a double standard. I was the girl that I can do everything a man can do. You can't stand up and pee. Watch me.
Right, y'all. Once again, the biggest of this show tonight, y'all, is not the biggest of the Walking with Walt podcast. This is some East Side stuff right here, y'all.
No. Because I was a tomboy. So as a child, that's how I thought. Because I was the fastest girl on the block. You couldn't beat me
You
in a
wasn't gonna beat
race.
me in the race. I would trip you up. No, man. I'm not losing to a girl. I'm gonna shoot that can to you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You probably would have could fight too good. Lord have mercy.
What? But at the end of the day, we as parents and as new parents, we do what we saw.
Yeah.
Kids don't do what you say, they do what you do.
Yeah, I like that.
So I have made mistakes. I was hard on her. And again, that double standard kicks in because you are a girl. You know, men have conversation rule the nation. That day that man meet you meet that man and he get the yapping and and you just be like, wait a minute, I wasn't ready. I have to.
That's a whole nother show right there.
That's a whole nother
That's
show.
a whole
But
show.
as my daughter
Yeah.
and my oldest daughter, I have to prepare you for that, even if I'm overdoing it.
Question for, I know every young man has heard this if he got a sister. Because I know I got tired of hearing my sister say this crap to my mama. And I'm going to ask you because I know it is something that every brother, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Well, you let the boys do anything they want to do or whatnot, but you know. Hey, y'all, I have heard that so many times with my sister. Them. What is it like, Coco? What is it about it, like girl? Because I think now that I'm older, it's true.
It's true.
Because
No, because the thing is, y'all go around here and impregnate 4 people at one time.
yeah.
If a girl get pregnant, she only pregnant that first 9 months.
Where's that baby gonna stay though if she gets pregnant?
Where the baby gonna stay?
It's gonna stay with her. I get that.
Yeah, but 9 times out of
as a
10.
teenager,
Yeah,
where's the mother going to be of that child?
And the mother's been in them.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of times, you know, it's a transfer of what she was just saying. Fellas, y'all, you know, y'all can jump in here.
I think I got a better example than that.
Showmanism, on this thing right here. This is why these hey, y'all, this is why our sisters don't like us right here.
Bro, my dad had 2 pregnant at the same time.
Hey. Hey.
We gonna
I
put
mean,
it out there.
it's already out there in the world, but you know.
Hey, y'all, this thing right here, we need it more time.
Yeah.
Hey, do y'all believe this? We gotta get ready to wrap up in a second.
We have 7 minutes left.
So that's the last segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
We might have to go a few minutes. So I gotta get
We
Adam
go to
touched.
8:30.
He's ready? Okay, we're gonna have to go a little longer. Tyrese, because your answer is better. Go ahead and say it. And the next voice we'll hear is gonna be Adam Tucker.
Nah, like you were saying, like the double standard. I think it's true because I know, like now, like my sister, she like 22. I think I'm 18. Yeah, she's 22. So I know, like when she was in high school, her curfew was 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
Like all high school, like 9th through 12.
yeah.
I don't got no curfew. I ain't never had no curfew.
Are you the baby?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
I have a
That's
whole
for sure.
curfew, but my brother is younger than me, and he got the same curfew.
No, he does not.
This man came in the house at the exact same time
No,
I was supposed to come
He
in the house.
pulled a stunt.
I can agree.
And he
though.
got away with life.
He pulled
But
a
he get away with stuff.
Y'all would have been
to
trying
an
to buy
extent. But here's the thing. When she calls me out, I gotta give it to her.
Yeah.
I can't change what I've already done.
Coco.
She will call me out.
Coco.
My better would have been on clean.
But
Go. I love this. I love now. Hey, Sarah.
I ain't heard that one yet.
I heard that. Chilling like that. I had Murray sitting next to him. My head would have been on low, and my body would have been on clean. And he was just sitting on the couch with his friend laying next to them, and they just walked in the house about 12 o'clock.
You might be from generation. Yeah. In case you work for defects, anybody like that, that was a metaphor. That was a metaphor. That wasn't real.
Not real life.
Hey, we do not condone those type of activities. All right, we're ready, Brother Tucker. We're ready. I'm sorry. And this is why you have a producer right here. Now you see how that works out.
yeah.
Hey man, this is a robust conversation. Anybody who watches this on the playback, if you watch this episode of the Walking with Walt podcast, and it doesn't make you want to sit down and have a conversation with your teenager or your 20-year-olds or whatnot, then that's something wrong with you, man. This is, hey y'all,
Thank you.
We got something here. I'm telling y'all, we got something right here. There's some topics that, well, but while we're waiting on him, 271, this is what somebody said right here. Somebody else, Marcus Vanderbilt said, mediator. He talking about right here, we got mediation going on. This is why we need to have other people besides you and your mama having the conversation together. Me and my kids having the conversation together. You and your, dad having the conversation, but have, not even your sister, even though she's a counselor. We don't want that relationship with the conversation we need to have going on. No family, exactly right. So this is what other people saying, y'all. They're saying, great conversation. This person just clapping right here. This person said, talked about sex. We talk about that. This person says, Walt taught me that parents who kids are not involved with an issue at school tends to not participate in school PTA meetings and so on. So like Alex, this is what you talking about. So if your parents don't come up to the school, we know they're not gonna be involved in PTA. They really don't even understand like what's really going on. That's why your parents gotta be involved, because if your parents, that's exactly right. If people are gonna call from the school, if they got a relationship with your parents, there are a lot of times when some stuff pop off, you might not get in the backseat of that car. And not as a teenager, of course, you don't want your parents to have that relationship.
But even
with the
bigger
school.
than that, like I know, like for me, there's a lot of documents my parents don't sign. I just
Hey, take this out, y'all. We can let Alvin Tucker on to the screen.
That's a real thing, Mr. Walker. Like,
Oh, is it?
No, sometimes the parents will just go ahead and sign. I don't care.
no, not even the parents. Like,
I
they
just
don't make
when
it
I
home.
get it.
Like, they don't sign it. Like,
Hey, y'all, that's another show, but this show right here, we were doing good up until the 8 o'clock mark. I think Mr. Tuck is ready now. DJ 271. He's still not ready. So right here, let me just give y'all something else. This hey, Miles Garrett, man, by way of Montgomery, Alabama, to Atlanta. He's down in Florida. He just says peace to the gods. Okay, thank you, 271. Also, we have Marcus, like I said, Dr. Vanderbilt, Alex, who's on our show. He says mediator. We got a lot of people following us too, man. Good movement on here. This person right here says it ain't always deadbeat dad. It's bitter moms out there. This person asked for the number. I don't know if he's gonna call in.
Can we? That's another episode.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode right there. I hope so.
like,
Yeah, that definitely
See,
is.
that's when I'm gonna get in trouble with females, because I can't stand a better mama. I'm sorry.
And this person right here, y'all, this is Artie. He's one of my former students from South Atlanta. He says, for me, I'm not as comfortable. He's like you, Robert. He says, I'm not as comfortable talking to my dad because I always saw him as the disciplinarian, never for counsel or advice, because he always let me do anything as long as I showed respect. Where my mom kept me grounded and wasn't afraid to tell me if I was wrong. Y'all see these different dynamics going? That's exactly what you said, right, Robert? All right. And then two more. Where my other sister says she did let you all. There it is. Here you go, y'all. Y'all see? I didn't get finished reading the statement. You heard, go. This is how my sister started out right here. This is the one right behind me. She did let you all do what y'all wanted, laughing like hell.
That's Kim.
That's Kim. Yeah. She's the oldest girl. Yeah. She no. My brother is above me. My mama too. You know what I'm saying? So she was just saying though that if my mom just saw them leaning over in the car talking to somebody in the apartment complex. Oh, she comes to the front door. Hey, little fan button that color. Hey, come on up here. Hey, bro, she don't know
The
me talking about.
consequences are different.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And let me read this last one, y'all. And then somebody, I think Felicia says, that's how it was in my household. So y'all see, y'all got grown folks out here listening. Grown folks are going back to that moment when they were stuck. I think we're ready. We're ready, y'all. Hey, so at this moment right here, man, Alan, let me just say, welcome to the Walking with Walt podcast with myself, Keenan Walker, the realest motivator, and eternal educator, and his boy, Dick Alexandria Robinson, and he's loading up right now. Alvin, man, welcome to the show, brother. I was just already introducing my cohorts right here. We have Miss Alexandria Robinson, Miss Boy Dick. We have her biological daughter, Miss Coco. We have Tyrese. We have Eli, and we have Robbie, and of course myself. Man, welcome to the show, and just take time, man, and say whatever you need to say to this wonderful cast that we have here.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. So listen, I heard you guys earlier, man. I was in the mall, man. I'm on vacation. I'm down here in Georgia. We've been to the Lenox. I got 2 daughters, man. We just been everywhere, man. So anyway, I was listening to you guys in the mall, man, and the conversation you all had concerning one brother said that this is America. It's like, wow, man, that was an eye opener for young people to just talk about politics and just out of your being, because oftentimes, man, as adults, we just kind of look over you guys, man. I appreciate your team though. So I was very impressed with you guys, but I just want to give you guys some words of encouragement, because in this world, you guys are going to be you're actually going to be the name changers as well as the game changers. Name changes by way of the African American name, our heritage, and so forth. man, you guys are on fire. You're not afraid to go in their places. And I just want you guys to know that there's some great things happening with you. Be yourselves. Continue to be who you are. Don't allow anyone, man, to deter you away from it. Now, so I listen to you guys, and I like how you you spoke of Walker and the other young lady as educators. Man, there's a great difference between an educator and a teacher. I listened. My daughter was like, "Who you listening?" I was like, "You need to hear this," but I couldn't share it with her at the time because I had my little ear pods on. But so, man, listen, you guys, what you guys are doing, I don't know whether you realize or not, but this is just the beginning. But because you are with some great mentors, man, listen, you're going to be unstoppable. I saw some people, political science, engineers. What else did I hear? Someone wanted to be an attorney, medicine. Man, listen, those are things, and then you just be yourselves, man. But be yourself. You are the best. No one can be a better person or a better self than thine own self. I want you guys to make sure you continue to grab hold of every ounce of information this young man gives you. So I'm just meeting Mr. Walker, y'all, and I'm on fire. I met him about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We hadn't even met in person, so I'm looking forward for you to come to Montgomery, man. I'm looking forward. I want you to come here and share. You know, I got a mentor from here. I want you to come share with these brothers here, man, and we're going to move some things forward. You young people, if y'all ever in Montgomery, Alabama, if you ever need anybody's help or any brother help, you need someone to stay, contact Alvin Tucker. Remember Alvin Tucker, 42 Leadership Academy. I'll do all I can to impress you guys, to help you guys, to encourage you guys, whatever you need, man. I'm here to do it.
Wow. Thank you, my dear brother, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a firehouse. Listen, you got. Hey, Will, listen. Make sure you get a call, man. We need to talk about something. I was impressed, very impressed. And this is my first time joining. I know you guys have had other episodes before this one, but this is my first time jumping on. But I'm so impressed with it. I was in the entire time at the mall. I was listening to you guys. So I need you to touch base with me, man. I need to do something like that here, okay?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
right,
love you guys. Y'all take care. All right, y'all take care.
Thank you.
Look at. Jeremy, do we have time? Do y'all have time for a couple of more people to come on?
You heard that shot. He said if he got a t-shirt.
Right. Okay. I just called that shot right there. Can we bring a few more people on DJ 271?
Yeah.
All right, y'all okay? Yeah. All right, let's see if we can bring DJ 271 coming from the top. Let's see if we can bring Dr. Marcus Vanderbilt on. Check this out. Y'all decide to go to Tuskegee, right? Mm-hmm. That brother's only 20-something minutes away in Montgomery. Did we talk about this the other night? I said, trust me, y'all.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Did you hear what she just said?
What's that?
Say it again.
Say it again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. But I was saying, like, you know how it was like, it's your truth, their truth, and the whole truth?
Yeah.
It's not even the truth, it's just who's more convincing.
Wow. So you could just do that. Now, I wish you'd done that in private. So on the next episode, I'll come in and say, I've been pondering something since the last show. Who's gonna be more convincing? Coco, I don't want to say it didn't go with that one. But I gotta get shouts out to Coco for saying that. I do this a lot of times. I'll say this to Clay, like Tyrese. I'm gonna take your stuff, and I'm gonna give Gerald or Tyrese credit for it this time. But the next time I say it, I'm gonna say I just woke up with something on my heart.
Like I'm just thinking about this.
Yeah, the next time we're gonna just be y'all. The spirit just move me, man. And I just know it's all about who's gonna be most convincing. This is something that Coco was talking about.
Your pocket. That's what you talking about. Tell me you got it for me.
I'm on a podcast with Tyrese, and they just said, Mr. Walker, the young man was so good. I came back to school. I said, Negro, you quote me as hell. I check Dr. Vanderbilt. Check your messenger, sir. 271. Let's go. Can we get somebody else while we waiting on him? Let's see if we can bring in. We have an administrator right here. See if Cliff Nicholson is still on your screen. He might be gone.
Why your heart drop?
My drop too.
But see, here's the thing. Don't let that intimidate you. Because the thing about it is,
Do you see him? If you don't see him, if you don't see Cliff Nicholson, see if you see Miles Garrett.
Your voices are being heard. And because you're saying it in a way that ain't ratchet and you ain't hood, that makes them really take into consideration what you're saying.
Miles Garrett, MYLES. Is he on still?
Administrator. Everybody was like, my heart just dropped.
And this is not an administrator from your school.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not an APS administrator. I probably wouldn't even let an APS
I
administrator
mean, you can't do
on.
nothing to me anyway. I'm out of school.
Yeah, and that's the truth, but I probably just wouldn't let them on because I wouldn't want any level of bias unless that person comes in and understands. Like, as we start to do this more, we're going to let them know this is not something that you're going to hold over our children's head if you come on our show. You know what I'm saying? And we might even have to do. Wait.
At the courthouse.
We lawyered up.
What?
Do we have Miles Garrett?
See,
Okay.
you can't
So
say
hey,
that on camera.
we got 2 people, and we got look, y'all. We're gonna push the thing for the people who are hanging in here with us because we want to even for the playback, even if we don't have them on now. People still need to hear what we just heard right there because we can easily have DJ 271, which is our producer, our graphics person. We can easily have him to chop up that piece. That is a testimonial for your first podcast.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right there, that brother just said, man, not just name changers, you guys are going to be game changers. And this is your first one, and we have that debrief after we get offline. Y'all know that's the things I want to talk to y'all about. If we are kicking butts like this right now, I won't say that. Y'all just say ... Imagine how we started the conversation today when we came in the room. Just us being real with each other. Yep. So that's what we said. We were talking, Robbie, about, being on the soccer team. If you go to practice that week, when we were talking, you remember earlier, like us, I said, I'm glad it's just the fellas here at first. Because there's some things that sometimes I just want to say where I just want to be able to talk to dudes like I need to talk to dudes. So it might be something where y'all got to respect Coco. Like, hey, bro, we need to make sure. I'm saying this before Alex and Coco get here. One thing y'all not going to do if you're on this team right here. And then when they come in, y'all ain't got to know like the conversation we had. It's just like as men, we need to have these things where we're going to model how you're going to treat the women here. Because somebody is watching out there that might say, hey, the one thing I always noticed, though, whenever Coco needed something, you always see one of those brothers leave the screen and bring it back to her.
But see, that's why I wanted y'all to come in the house before I got here.
Good stuff.
Because you have a better, you know him based off the video conferences we've had twice.
Right.
Now you have a better understanding of him as a man without me being here to quote unquote protect you because I brought you to the table.
Check for Marcus Vanderman. He said okay right here. Marcus Vanderman said okay.
I've been knowing this man, 8-9 years.
Yeah.
I met him, his New Black Tony is one of his old students.
Yeah.
Y'all get to meet him the next time more than I.
Wait a minute.
But I met him off one of his old students.
Yeah.
He was the media trainer for a gospel artist we were working with. I had more personal conversations with him about helping me grow than I did as a manager or as a representative for her. And we clicked.
That's exactly what happened. So just being in the space. And it started right here at the G-Spot, right?
In that room in there?
We sure did. And I want to say to you guys, like right now, just because y'all are in the space, I guarantee you right now before Dr. Vanderbilt, whoever's going to come on, comes on, and make sure we keep our time, guys. I know we went over a little bit tonight, but I just think, y'all, this is worthwhile. Because somebody's going to watch this right here and say, wow, I was wondering why I didn't like my dad, and I just learned something today. And I want to just talk to this, I want to talk to Robbie. I want to say, Robbie, thank you for opening up. Because if Robbie had not said what he said, then I don't have a reason to jump in and say what I said. And that person who's out there listening don't have a reason to say, wow. You know how sometimes you're at church being a preacher's child, they just feel like the preacher talking to you? Yeah. Even though everybody's in the thing, it just seems like they're just talking to you or whatnot.
Your mama, now you in there getting schooled on.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say this.
If nobody's ready, let me know, Jim. I got my little brother Solomon on.
It's
Marcus is ready?
Marcus is ready.
Okay.
Coming to the stage. What kind of pizza y'all want?
It's the stage right. We've been, but I just say no.
Well, he can't try to go pick it up, and they too late for the
Hey, we'll make sure y'all that pizza. You must call it CC. I told you I had a bougie roof. Alvin, we're gonna retract everything you just said about these bougie niggas.
I got a little season when you said.
I got a little season.
Oh no, that wasn't talking about.
Hey, be on task. Our producers get our attention. You ready?
Ready? Okay. Here we go, y'all.
My bad.
Got another caller up.
Only audio.
Okay, only audio. Gotcha. Dr. Vandenberg.
Yes, sir.
All right, man, we got you on, dog. You here with our crew right here, man. You know, of course, the lovely Miss Bourne Thick, her daughter Coco. You know Tyrese because I think you came and visited our class, our ethnic studies class. You got my man Eli right here, super strong name, and you got Robbie. Both of these guys, I want you to reach out to them. engineer, mechanical engineer, either a mechanical engineer or biomedical engineer. So you are another resource I was telling them about that's going to come about as a result of being in this space right here. So, man, the floor is yours, brother.
So first of all, man, I've been in and out kind of catching a little bit of the show, man, and you all are really having a very, very powerful conversation. And let me say this just to steal something from you, Walt. This is the difference between what you call teaching and what you call education. This is the difference right here. When you sit around and you have these types of conversations and start building, that's where you take what you learned in school and you apply it. That's the education piece. So, hey man, I applaud each and every one of you all, and just keep doing your thing, man. But yeah, so to the guys that are thinking about engineering, man, I would just say polish up your mathematics, bro, because that's where it all starts. Polish up your math, polish up your and look, it's way less than math than it is understanding your number theory. How numbers start to manipulate one another, how they move and how they act when they're in the presence of another number or an operation or something like that. And
hey,
once
Dr.
you
Vandiver,
start,
can I say something real quick, Dr. Vandiver?
please,
That sounds
please.
sexy. You make math sound sexy, man.
Math is sexy, dog.
Yeah, when we talk, Dr. Vandiver, we just talking about how that parent who over parents, they teach their children. This is something I learned. I'm gonna give it Dr. Kurt. I'm giving you credit this time, Dr. Kurt. Next time I'm gonna wake up with it on my heart. But we talking about how parents actually give power to Dr. Vandiver. When you have that parent who is serving as a father in their mind and a mother, how they start to teach their child to manipulate situations. So could you expound a little bit on how sexy you made math sound just then? You said it's more about the less about the mathematics and more about manipulating numbers. Can you say that one more time and expound a little bit on that?
Yes, it's less about the math and more about the manipulation. And let me put it in layman terms. This is what I tell my students. Mathematics is 90% problem solving and 10% I can't remember. It just popped out of my head.
We got where you going. We got that other 10%. Like most people do the homework at night, that's only 10% of it. I just want you to do that so you understand how to problem solve when you get back here.
Right. So the 90% is the problem solving.
That's right.
That's it. That's setting up the problem. And so we do 10% of that in elementary school. What I mean by that is we do more computation, coming up through, grade school and middle school, and we do less problem solving. That's why problem solving is so hard when we get to the latter grades. But you have to kind of learn computation in order to understand problem solving. So it kind of works.
Is that why people skip the word problems in math classes most of the time?
Yeah, that's to me, that's the most important part, because that's the part that teaches you to respect and understand the manipulation of the process. So that's the problem solving piece. See, anybody can add 2 + 2, but when I tell you Sally had 2 apples and Mark had 2 apples and they put them together, that's the problem solving piece. Adding is easy because we've been learning adding and subtraction and all of that stuff forever. So it's that problem solving piece. Go ahead.
Let me say first and foremost, I don't know if they know who they're speaking with right here, brother. This is my frat brother who I played with. This is what we call Sands. And this brother right here, man, he's a classroom teacher. He worked on the west side of Montgomery, in the hood. He actually teaches as an adjunct professor, and he also works for the State Department of Education. And this brother did you teach math and science, Doc? Which was it, math and science?
I taught a little bit of science, but I stayed heavy on math.
And we have another line, brother, Jimmy and Marcus. Can you remember what Jimmy's major is called?
No, it's something crazy like that. I was gonna say Jimmy would be another excellent resource because his mathematics is what leads into the engineering piece. A lot of what Jimmy does helps engineers at his facility. So he does like the math piece and the computation piece and sends it off to them, and they do the engineering piece. So and I think he does do a little bit of engineering and what they all start to kind of overlap. But yeah, man, that's a great field to go into. I'm so happy you guys are talking about engineering this early, man. And I hope you all are getting in some clubs. I had an opportunity when I was in high school, and this is how I got into mathematics and sciences. We had a program called SECME. I think that's what it was called. Science, Engineering, Mathematics. And I can't remember what the other one was. But we had a group.
I think it's called SIMC.
It's
SIMC. Yeah, ours was called SECME back in the day. And we had some engineer students that would come from Georgia Tech that would run our club at the end of the day, and just kind of do some activities with us, man, and just having conversations with them. College students that look like you, that are successful, that understand, what you're going through, how to navigate from point A to point B in high school and transition to college. And then just talking to mathematics and talking to science and talking, all the applications and the things that you can do with it, the things they're not showing you that you can do with it. So just that love had me in science. And then I just started loving mathematics, man. It was kind of like Neo, that part where he just started kind of seeing the numbers and the letters, and he just kind of understood his matrix. And hey, look, man,
Hey, Doc, let me say this right here. I want to let Robbie tell you what he's doing right now. Robbie, can you tell Dr. Vanderbilt what you're doing now?
Yeah, right now I'm in an internship with Georgia Tech, and we're perfect. Right now we're making treatments and therapies to treat glaucoma. And like you were saying, with engineering, it's a lot about math and numbers. And I agree with you because within my project, it's a lot about convergence. So like with the therapy we're using stem cells, and we got to convert like 20 macroliters to like 2 liters or something like that. But I get what you were saying. It's about manipulation with the numbers and stuff.
That's right. So, yeah. That's right. And see that, and that's what I love to tell students, because I teach a elementary for mathematics course, and most people, which is weird, usually your elementary teachers go into elementary teaching because one, they either like kids or they hate math. Listen to me now. You ain't understanding me. They either love kids or they hate math. And so I get a lot of elementary teachers who always say, I hate math. But once they start the process that, look, you already know how to do math. You do it every day. You count gallons for gas. You add text. And so you're just manipulating numbers. That's all it is. It's just manipulating. And so once you start to understand, I love teaching number theory. And I'll give you an example of number theory. Like the visibility rules, that's number theory, because you're understanding how those numbers come together, how they break up, what happens when they're in the presence of another number or an operation. And so those divisibility rules, that is a great example of number theory. That's a great foundation for number theory and manipulation. And so once you understand how these numbers work and how they operate with one another, then you start to understand how they start to work with other sciences and other, disciplines, things of that nature. And so, hey, man, congratulations on that, bro. You are in an awesome space up at Georgia Tech. That is a great school. So I just want to give you an applause for that, big time.
Hey, Dr. Vanderbilt, let me say this right here, man. You have just, with what you just did, man, I know we started out the other show and you had a chance to come on and do a prelim, but we're definitely going to have to bring you on the Awaken the Genius show on Monday nights, man, and just have a conversation where we talk to young people, parents, educators about mathematics. And I think y'all tell me what y'all think, because this is your show right here. I think you just helped us understand why people like myself, when I went to college, I looked at that handbook. You remember that handbook they gave us via Alabama State? And I looked for every major that had the least amount of math class.
Oh, yeah.
And I just knew I would, like, if I had what his handbook looked like and what his handbook looked like, I knew I would have come right back home, because I know they probably would have had just math classes all up there. So thank you, man. We want to invite you out to the Awaken the Genius show on Monday nights, just so you can talk to us more about this in a more intimate manner. And maybe we can create more math students who love math, because I think they want to just problem solve. That's why dope boys understand math better than people who go to school oftentimes. Because they are actually looking at what you talk about. They know how to manipulate the numbers, and they can get on that triple beam scale if they need to and tell you, like, hey, Pimp, you're a little short right there. You know what I'm saying? And this is real mathematics, though.
It is real mathematics, because it impacts their money.
Hey, Marcus, let me say this right here, Doc. I love you, man. Appreciate everything you're doing. We got a few more callers. I don't know if we're going to get to them. I just want to leave this last segment. Dr. Vanderbilt, I will be in touch with you.
Can I say one more thing, man? I was just
Sir,
listening to the show, and one of the things that popped in my head that is going to be an excellent resource for everybody, all of the young people in there, learn how to not follow instruction, but process instructions. I always tell my future teachers, learn how to process instructions. And I think if you learn how to do that, you put yourself in a space to listen and lead, because you understand you're able to take information, process it, and push that information forward, making you a leader in the pack. And so process, again, mathematics, but learn how to process instruction. And that's basically what mathematics is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Peace out, brother. I love you too, man. I'm sorry. I know
Hey,
you got
man, appreciate you very much. Gerald, holler her name. Just say Kim. Hey, tell her come on in. Hey, y'all, check this out. I got one of my sisters coming in right now, y'all. We got 10 minutes, and we're going to stop dead up. My sister Kim just said, what do y'all eat, man? She want to know what y'all eat. All these hungry Negroes back here who texting us and making all kind of faces, man. Y'all can't see the faces, but I told them, yeah, these are bougie Negroes. I got a can of sardines upstairs, got some Ritz crackers. I got it all up there, man. I got some Sam's Cola. I got some Sam's. Y'all see them drinks right here? I got Great Value ginger ale right here. They don't want no Great Value ginger. Come on in here, Grant. This my baby sister coming in, y'all. We can have a whole show on how the sister felt like the boys got treated differently. Come on in, Grant. Let folks see your face.
Hey, y'all doing?
Let folks see your face. You got to eat on in here. This is my baby sister right here, y'all. So we start talking about those steps and yeah, that's my, now imagine how the hell is her name Granny and she the baby? That's y'all about the dynamics of a family right there, y'all. So my other sister Kim and yeah, I know that, but you know how to put you on. I want to sit down. Okay. Yeah, so like right here, man, my sister came to speak, man. It's always good to be in a family where your whole family supports everything you're doing, as well as your extended family, which they have become. And I love what Alex has just said to the young people tonight that you guys can hear. We're having a little sidebar conversation that I can't wait to follow up with them on. Alex was just telling them about how I had a chance to speak to the young men before, you know, she and her daughter got here. And it wasn't anything about a discrepancy. And she said she was glad. That's why she asked them to come earlier, so we could build our relationship beyond, you know, me talking to them through her. And I think they can kind of get a small glimpse of why you respect me so much and why I respect you so much. It's like, yo, I tell my students this, and I hope you guys got this after one show. Imagine what Tyrese is thinking. You guys are just seeing what Tyrese get a chance to see every day. And people in the class where he took full advantage of it. That's why, Alex, he was on our first podcast with Walking with Walk Right. And Tyrese doesn't even know it. That's some stuff I'm not going to even show to him until I know that you have been tried, like we say in the Lord. Often tried, never denied, and willing to be tried again. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of times we get upset, you know, when we get tried. And we see like, man, Walk doing the most. See, Negro right there. You might not have known. I might have just told Ms. Robinson that I want her to bring her contact in the music industry through here because we got a student in my class who I want to do a surprise for. And because you got tried, you let your 16-year-old homeboy, instead of listening to that wise counsel, that's why we're having this show right here. Sometimes Coco, sometimes Tyrese, sometimes Eli, sometimes Robbie. You remember we had that conversation in our meeting the other night on our Zoom? And we were talking like when you start saying y'all generation, the very person who you need out there, you offended. And he was just sitting here just like the man who called in saying, anything y'all need when you're in Montgomery or whatnot, let me know. And you might have just ended by saying, well, y'all generation, and that's all he remembered from the call after that. See, we got to be cautious. You know, at the very beginning of the show, I said, hey, man, be cautious about your word. This is our first show, so we know we're going to go back and debrief. We're going to break down the whole thing. We're going to look at words that we're going to say these are caution words. When you get ready to use this word, know that you could possibly lose everybody with this word. You can say the same thing in a different manner. Y'all get what I'm saying? So at this point, y'all, I want all of them to have like a closing remark. My sister Kim asked what y'all want to eat, so we can talk about that off air because we might have some other people. Y'all want to send some money for these babies to eat? You can send the money to my cash app. And I'm dead. Y'all know this. I mean, these children are expensive. Hell, they're not even mine. I already feel like I got a bill tonight. If y'all never want to send $1, $2, well, less than what it costs you to get a cup of coffee, send in money. These children have been telling me, this brother right here need me in my shoulder so much. I I might not even made it right on my virtual chalkboard. But my screen might go back up to the South Atlanta University tomorrow. If y'all want to send something to help out, man, we don't want much. We just want to get these children some pizza from. Hold on, that brother said, hold on, speak for yourself. We want 4 large pieces. Yeah, but hey, see a bit, man. DJ 271, let me just say, man, you have done an awesome job tonight,
Yes.
bro. Hey, yeah. Shout out to the producer, DJ 271. Gerald, thank you for coming, taking photos for us, man. Shouts out to the photographer or whatnot. Don't send me no invoice, Gerald. If you do, man, I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna need you to put me on the paper, man. Let's give shouts out to Gerald, man. Shouts out to Gerald. Hold on, y'all. Let's do that thing. Amazon free. Put that thing up, man. Yeah, y'all. We got cash. Cash is always king, y'all. Cause we know that's real. Now, y'all niggas don't send that cash out and then try to shut that thing down. Cause I know you. We over there on Cleveland, y'all. We know as soon as it hit and we hear that little sound go on the phone, we cashing out. Yeah, we cashing out. As soon as it hit our phone, we cashing out. So, hey man, Coco, we'll start with you because it's Coco and Miss Born Thick, and we are the crew, y'all. So let's start with our lady. Start with you, then your mom. Because I knew she wouldn't want to talk, y'all. That's why I'm gonna always call her first, right there. I do that in class.
But not real. That's why when you suggested the idea to me,
yes,
I put them two on too.
I love it, Coco. Great decision.
Because for one, it was you're another outlet besides what we have.
Yes.
On that side of town.
I got you.
Nobody's on the other side of town we can go talk to. So, and I knew that 2 black men and mechanical engineers, we don't see that coming out the hood.
And you and I had our first conversation, y'all. If y'all don't know this, Alex brought Coco here, and they were on their way to Walmart. And y'all supposed to, just stop by to bring me some food, just looking out like a great co-host would do, man. And we started talking, right, Coco? And Alex called me back and just said, Coco said we should have gone to Walmart first, man. So we just hit it off, right, Coco? And then now you see, she's brought in 2 little brothers for me, man, to actually serve as a jegna for. They wanted me to use that word. But anybody who's talking about mentors, we oftentimes in the conscious community refer to them as jegnas, Jegna. But I don't want to throw anybody out. We'll build towards that for the ones of you who are used to saying mentors. That we're not going to let that divide us or anything. I just want to let you know if you ever hear anyone refer to a mentor as a jegna, that's what they're referring to. So, Coco, is there anything you would like to say to any adult who's listening as to why they should continue to listen to this podcast?
Honestly, you get to realize, and it'll help you interact with your child more.
Cool.
Because we doing it with y'all, so what we can't say to our parents, but we're saying to y'all, is something like they're gonna do what they're going through. Basically, they'll talk to your neighbor before they talk to you. They'll probably talk to us before they talk to you. So just keep tuning in, and we here to talk to y'all. Talk to us, whatever.
I like that. I like what you said, because you don't always have to talk to your mom. Sometimes we need just to have other people in the community that we can lean on. And I don't always go to my mom with some of my issues because I know it's a sensitive issue. You know what I mean? And I would go to my mentor or my jegna, and they might just say, bro, your mama right. But if I had gone to my mama first, and you know, it's kind of like she's the baby or whatnot. She knows kind of like how you are. Hell, the baby, they done see everybody else do their thing. Damn, why I get ready to do X, Y, and Z? So she got to kind of take the brunt of mama saying us, right, Brad? Us fighting and all this stuff going on. So, of course, but one thing I love about baby girl, you know, she kind of rolled on into that thing. That's why I said we were ready for the smoke. She came to the cookout when she got big enough. So that's a whole nother conversation right there. So just good, man, to have family once again. I love that y'all are here. Because people get a chance to see in real time that sometimes it's like real talk. I can just tell by your YouTube facial expression. It kind of like, so she gonna one up we with that. I thought we had already kind of handled that little situation. Yeah. So Tyrese, let's give us something, man. Give us a minute or so and tell us like why people should tune in or anything else that you would like those folks out there that are listening audience to know.
I would just say it's like real, authentic, unscripted. It's like legit. A lot of this stuff like. I know we like had conversations prior to this about what we was gonna talk about. A lot of this stuff was just fresh. And it was natural. Like it was a natural conversation. I know that was one thing we was going for. And like she said, like a lot of times you can't convey, like you can't have these conversations with your parents. So like she may be having a conversation talking about a situation, but really want her mama to hear her. So it's like just having the opportunity to let our voices be heard. I appreciate that.
I love it. Eli.
Like Tyrese said, man, I appreciate the opportunity, and I think you all should keep tuning in because, like Corey and Tyrese said, it's authentic. Like, it's not scripted at all. It's 100% come from our hearts and our minds. And you know, by tuning in, y'all. Wait, how can I say this?
Say it right, make it plain. Be you, be authentically you.
Oh, y'all help us help y'all.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I like that.
I'm still that one there. I always say help me to help you. Y'all help us to help y'all. See, he did a generational little thing right there. Y'all did that.
But he kept it.
Yeah. See, he had that big joker, so to speak.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna go ahead and let mama know y'all helping us. See, mama, I know you got the little joker. Y'all helping us to help y'all. All right. And Robbie.
Oh, yeah, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, everybody in here, because I know this can help my soft skills and boost my confidence and communicating and stuff like that.
Soft skills?
I ain't hear you,
Time
son.
out. Say that one time.
Say that again. Robbie always make no comment for the people way back there in the back. Hey, can y'all hear him there? Robbie, repeat that for them folks way
Like
back
I
there.
was saying, I just want to thank y'all for this opportunity because it can boost my soft skills and my confidence within speaking. I also want to say, please tune in again next Wednesday because y'all are giving beneficial and efficient feedback, but at the same time, we're helping you and y'all are helping us at the same time. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you.
You heard it here, man. And here's a brother who we had to say to the other day that we don't want to be quiet on the sofa. You and Eli, I saw Eli warming up. I can see Robbie now getting ready to light it up next time. We do this thing right here. Yeah. And then let me say this right here. We would not be who we are without this queen right here. Your closing comments.
First and foremost, thank you for you guys being open to do this. Everybody's nerves, we're getting the best of them prior to us going live today. But this is an opportunity again for you guys to help us to help you. This last year for everyone has been trying. Yeah,
At least you the people wait until you leave the room before they steal your stuff.
No, because if I'm gonna take something from you, I'm gonna be honest, Steve. I stole it in your face.
Yeah, she did that.
But this year alone has been trying for everybody, from the parents to the educators to the children.
For the people in the back, say that again.
This year has been trying from the parents to the educators to the students.
Yes.
Everybody's human. I don't give a damn what your title is. You are human at the end of the day.
Yes.
And at this point in time, if you have not learned anything else with everything that we have witnessed since March or February of 2020, listen to your children.
Yes.
Listen to your children. Allow them an opportunity to speak. Whether it's right or wrong, they don't. As adults, we may not know how to express ourselves.
Yes.
You all are learning and coming out into a position where you're able to have a voice. Continue to use your voice. Don't ever let anybody silence you. Because some people didn't have that.
That part.
I don't feel like I had a voice till I got good and grown.
Yes.
So again, thank you. Always tune in to the Walking the Walk podcast, whether it's Teen Talk Wednesdays, What's Hood Wednesdays, Awaken the Genius Mondays, For Real Fridays. Like, we all over the place.
Yeah.
But tune in because we have fun. We are with all of the shenanigans, but we also want to make sure we hit home because you never know how your story can influence somebody else.
Hey man, you know how you just in a group of people and everybody is just like genius and they have said everything that you want to say. Now I see how my students feel in the classroom when they say, I know what's on my hand. You know what I'm saying? I know, look, bro. Yeah. See, if I didn't know the answer, I know what you guys are thinking. You know, in the classroom. If I didn't know the answer, he'll be calling on me first. But now my hands have been up all day. He didn't call my name. That's exactly how I feel right now. It's like, okay, I can't wait to say this right here. And then Coco said it. Then I'm like, okay, well, I know the next thing I'm going to say. Then Tyrese said it. Then I said, well, I got one last thing left in my arsenal, and I got some possible, like spades. Then bam, they killed my two possible. I knew that I was out of Trump. I've been talking, bull crap the whole game. I didn't have no Trump cards or whatnot. Alex just pretty much started running all spades. So at least I got to give y'all a metaphor to make my stuff make sense.
But at least I'm your partner when I'm
yes, spades. But let me just say right now, to have a spade partner like my partner right there, the way you just ran through all the different shows and everything we got going on, the way you support me, man, I mean, like, continually. I want to say publicly, man, thank you to Alexandria Robinson. Yes, ma'am. And this sister right here, man, got my back. I know, like, from A to Z, I got her back from A to Z. I want to say thank you, man, to the Pink Cakery again. Yeah. The Pink Cakery. DJ 271 posted that card earlier for being our title sponsor. if you are interested in getting some baked goods, we're gonna start doing with Alex, if you don't mind. We're gonna start giving away a dozen of cupcakes, maybe Alex, the fourth Monday of every month.
Yes.
So somebody who follows us, you have to send us your email and where you're checking in from, your name and so on and so forth. And maybe we'll do it on your show, you guys. Let y'all pick the winner. And of course, I've already said this, Coco, because I see your facial expression. I told Kia, this is what I told Kia. No, I remember what you said. I told Kia on the Peak Cakery, I told her that Coco did some, what's the name of the flavor you told me last time?
Peach cobbler.
Yeah, peach cobbler cupcakes. And I told her the only way I was going to allow, because she wanted to sit on this time. I'm one of them people, man. I'm from the show me state. You got to show me that you're going to do it right. And you remember I told you, when we make it through that first show successfully, you get those cupcakes. So, Kia, please, man, make sure that we get those cupcakes right. Do y'all want to get a dozen of cupcakes and a dozen strawberries?
It don't even matter.
Hey, Kia, we need 2 dozen cupcakes. And lastly, like I thank our sponsors, but lastly, I want to say thank you to the most important people on the podcast, which is all of you guys who tuned in with us. Even if you were here for 5 minutes, if you were here for 10 minutes, if you were here for the whole time. Thank you guys for joining in. My name is Keelan Walker. I'm the realest motivated eternal educator, aka Mr. Awaken the Genius. You guys have been walking with Walk and the crew. We'll see you guys again, man, in 2 weeks. See you there. Deuces.
Peace.
So, like,
See that 271 set up? Oh, okay. I'm about to say, we got, we about to get